Do you ever actually wonder if the moon is fake?
Are we in the Truman Show? Is that why you're asking?
The moon wasn't fake in the Truman Show.
It was.
The whole Earth was fake.
The moon was also fake. It was a big light bulb in the sky with whatever that dude's name is in the movie. He lived in there and he watched Truman.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Truman Show is a good ass movie.
It looked fake as shit. I don't know how Jim Carrey didn't figure it out.
Because it's like a million miles away.
It's not though. It's like a mile away.
But to Jim Carrey, it's a million miles away because he grew up in that environment.
I love the Truman Show. It's so good. People hate on me for that. It's like, why do you like the Truman Show so much? I'm like, it's good.
I'm like, because you don't know art. It's amazing.
You don't know art. It was so sad, the ending.
It really is. Welcome back to the Real Duo Podcast, aka the Keanu Cast, aka the most mediocre podcast on the internet, aka the only mediocre podcast on the internet, aka the Real Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Wade.
And I'm one of your hosts, Devin. I just want to say, before we get started, we actually have a Twitter now, an official Twitter.
Oh, shit. What is it?
It's at Duo Podcast, Duo_podcast.
I should probably follow it. I don't follow it because I don't use Twitter. I don't really got my Twitter.
We have no followers, so if anybody wants to follow us and get updates on our podcast, just go follow us.
Yeah, boy.
We can, if we get enough, we can start doing polls. See what people want to see.
We could be like, "Yo, how many people like Batman vs Superman?"
And everybody will say no one. No one.
Probably. They'll probably just yell at me.
Except for you. You'll be the one.
I'll be the one. I'll just be like, "Hey, come over here."
I love it. It's good.
It's great. Go fuck yourself. What have you been watching this week, Devin?
I watched 2 movies this week. I told you about one of them. I didn't tell you about. Well, I watched 3. The review we're doing for this week, but I watched 2 that didn't come out this week. I watched Con Air.
I know. I don't know why you watch Con Air. That's never a movie I would just pop in and watch.
Like I said, I just saw it on Hulu, so I was like, "Oh, sure, why not?"
There's so much garbage on Hulu.
It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, Devin, you knew that. You knew that when we watched it together. I was like, "Yo, let's watch this bad movie together." And then after it was over, you were like, "Yeah, that movie's really bad."
It was way worse than I remember it, though.
It's awful, but it's hilarious.
There's literally a scene with Nick Cage in slow motion smiling while his hair blows in the wind.
You mean the best scene ever in all of cinema?
What the hell? What?
That's Nick Cage. That's how Nick Cage leaves anywhere.
And I don't remember
he walks out of a
being in this movie either.
Who?
Steve Buscemi.
Is Steve Buscemi in that movie for real?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
He's like a psychopathic killer.
I remember Dave Chappelle's in it, and he doesn't he smuggle heroin up his ass or something?
I think so. I just watched it the other day, and I don't even remember.
That movie's so weird. Where's Con Air 2? All these movies are getting sequels. Where the fuck's Con Air 2?
I don't want that. Where's Mom and Dad 2?
No. There shouldn't have been a Mom and Dad 1.
And then the second movie I watched it came out last year, I think, and I was gonna watch it, but Vice. I watched Vice finally. Oh,
you watched Vice? Did you like Vice?
I did actually. I liked it a lot. I hardly recognized Christian Bale throughout the entire movie.
Oh, Christian Bale was so great in that film.
And Steve Carell, he actually acted really well. Surprisingly.
Steve Carell's a really good actor.
When I saw him, I really thought, I was like, he's gonna ruin this movie for me, but he didn't, which I'm surprised by.
He's really good. Watch Foxcatcher. He's really good in Foxcatcher as well. It's a really boring movie, but he's really good in it.
And I loved Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush.
Oh, Sam Rockwell is the best. I wish he was in it more, but
I love it. I loved all of it. It was very political, a lot more political than I thought it was going to be, but I liked it though.
Did you get duped by the fake credits in the middle of it? Because I almost did when I first saw it.
I was like, I've only been watching this for 30 minutes. There's no way it's over.
Because I was like, is it how long have I been in the theater? Is it over? And I was waiting. Everyone else was just kind of looking around, and then there's more movie. Okay. And then when the actual credits went, I was like, should I stay? Is this another trick?
I did notice that at the fake credits they said they bred golden retrievers or something. That's a lie. There were Labradors in that scene. Them fucking liars. They messed up. It's 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. Fuck that film.
Fuck that film.
Fuck everything. Fuck you, Christian Bale.
What have you been watching this week?
I watched Spawn season 1 of the animated show, and I watched Taxi Driver last night.
How was Spawn? How was it?
Spawn, dude, the Spawn animated series is so good. I mean, seasons 2 and 3 are kind of like they get really into like comic book stuff where it gets really like off the rails and kind of goofy. But season 1 is like so it's like perfect. It's so good.
Is it better than the Spawn movie?
Oh yes. Yes. I think if you watch season 1 of the animated show, you'd actually like Spawn.
Is it on Netflix or Hulu or something? Or?
It was on Amazon Prime like a year or 2 ago. I don't know if it's still there.
I'll have to check.
You can find it on YouTube. They put all the episodes on YouTube.
I may have to check that. How many episodes is it per season?
Only 6, and each episode's like 25 minutes, so you could literally watch the entire show in like 3 hours.
Yeah, I could knock that out in one night probably.
Yeah. But it's so like the animation's beautiful in it. It looks great. I wish they would put it out on Blu-ray because it would look incredible.
Does it give you faith for the reboot?
Well, I mean, we have news about that this week. We do.
Oh, okay.
But
we'll get to that later then.
But I mean, Keith David is coming back as Spawn in Mortal Kombat 11, and he's so good in that show. Watch it for Keith David alone because his voice acting in that is incredible. He's incredible.
Does Hell look as bad as it did in the movie?
No, you don't actually ever see Hell.
Really?
They don't really get into that because the show is different. Oh, they talk about him. They talk about Malbolgia a lot. But the show is actually kind of different than the comics, because the comics are kind of like bad outside of Spawn's origin. They get really like stupid and absurd.
People don't read those for the story. They read it for Spawn. People love the character Spawn, but they don't care.
I like Spawn. Spawn's cool.
They don't care about the story. They're like, oh look at this demon character named Spawn.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But the show actually is like, hey, let's try and ground some of this in reality and not make it absurd nonsense. At least season 1, season 2 and 3 get a little absurd, but it's still really good. It's like House of Cards and Law and Order if you threw a demon in the middle of it.
That sounds awesome, actually.
Yeah, that's what that show is. Because Spawn isn't like the first seasons. He's like the main character, but then as season 2 and 3 go along, he kind of just shows up and he's just like, hey, I'm Spawn.
I totally want to watch that because that sounds.
It's really great. There's a character in it who's like a giant cyborg assassin man called Overkill, and there's one scene where he like fucks up Spawn, and Spawn just he shows up back at like Overkill's like house or whatever, just with like giant like machine guns, and he kills him like off screen. Spoilers. It's not important, but he kills him off screen, and then he goes to the mob boss, and just the mob boss opens like his car door and just Overkill's like bones and shit around. Spawn's like, yo, fuck with me again, and this will be you, and it's the most badass thing in the world. I loved it.
Spawn never changed.
Oh man,
always be the badass you always are.
It's so good.
You ready to get into the news for the week though, or what was the other thing you watched?
I watched Taxi Driver, which is one of my favorite films of all time. I love Taxi Driver.
How was it?
It's so good.
Rewatch, or was that your first watch?
It was a rewatch. I love Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver is one of my faves.
Still amazing.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Martin Scorsese is like one of the best filmmakers ever.
I haven't seen it, so.
You talking to me? You talking to me? You must be talking to me because no one else is here. That's a bad De Niro, but
that's a famous line.
It is. That's where that movie came from, or that's where that line came from.
I would hope so. Otherwise, they just stole it from another movie.
That's just De Niro. He just talks that way all the time.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out too. I've heard that's really good, but I've never watched it.
Taxi Driver is great. It's like an hour and 40-something minutes, so that's also pretty short.
It's barely a real movie.
What is with you in the length of films? It doesn't.
They have to be an hour and a half, otherwise they're not a real movie.
I guess that's fair. But like, it doesn't matter.
Like what was it? The Shallows? Is that what it was? That was an hour and 29 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 80 minutes. Yeah, but The Shallows was garbage either way.
And so it's not a real movie.
The length wouldn't have helped that movie at all.
Didn't count.
I guess. Let's get into the news.
Okay, let's get into the news. You start. You go ahead.
Okay.
I always start. start. So you start.
I'll start this time. George Miller, director of pretty much all the Mad Max movies, says that Mad Max Fury Road sequels will happen.
Oh shit!
Have you seen Mad Max Fury Road?
I've seen the beginning, and then I fell asleep.
What?
But I loved the beginning.
What?
I was super tired.
Hold up. No. Fuck this news. You need to watch Mad Max Fury Road.
I know. I love the beginning. The beginning was great, and then I fell asleep.
Fury Road is a masterpiece. Visually and action-wise is a masterpiece. Tom Hardy's best performance, and he has like 6 lines in the whole film.
Like, just all the actors I saw, like they were acting without even speaking, and it was amazing. They were all
yeah, that's what movies should be. It's just,
I know a lot of people don't though, but like you could just tell in their facial expressions, like shit was about to go down.
Oh yeah, it's so good, and I want more Mad Max because Mad Max 1 was good. It's kind of dated, but it's good. And then Road Warrior's great, and then Beyond Thunderdome kind of sucks because they try to make it like kid friendly, and I'm like, why? But Fury Road is so good. I want as many Mad Max movies as George Miller's willing to put out, but he better put out these sequels before he gets too old because he's.
How many does he plan on doing? 1 or 2?
I think 2 more.
2 more.
I think he said 2 more.
Did he say? Did he give a release of when it was supposed to come out?
Oh no, he was just like, yeah, I want to do them. He didn't.
I'm kind of writing them, kind of not. Who knows?
I'm kind of working on them, but not really.
Just a little teaser.
But I know there was one that was like greenlit a while ago because if you Google it, it'll show up. It was called like Mad Max Wildlands or something, and I think it was supposed to come out like last year. I think. So I think that's actually coming out at some point. But
do you think this will be a true sequel, or will it be like Fury Road, where Fury Road kind of stands on its own?
Well, I mean, none of the Mad Max movies are really like connected because there's a character that shows up in Road Warrior, and then in Beyond Thunderdome, that same actor shows up, but it's a completely different character. Like it's the same actor, and they both characters have a plane for some reason and they throw snakes off of it, but they're completely like unrelated characters. What? So like it doesn't matter.
What? They throw snakes off a plane?
Yeah.
Why?
You have to watch the movie. Okay. But because they're like attacking people, but there's no real continuity in any of those films, and that's totally fine.
I was gonna say the Fury Road's the only one I've even remotely seen, and it looked like it's staying. I didn't not understand what was going on because I know it's a sequel to the first one, right?
Well, again, none of them are really. You could treat it as a sequel to like Beyond Thunderdome or whatever, but like it's its own thing. It doesn't really matter. So
like these new ones, do you think they're true sequels or they're gonna stand on their own too?
It'd be really bizarre if it was like, hey, remember that time I did that thing in the last movie? Because the great thing about the Mad Max movies is that they're not really about Max. They're always like it's always like Max stumbling across a bunch of other people, and then the movies are kind of about them. He's just kind of like a folklore hero. So, I mean, it'd be cool if it was just like, oh, he stumbles upon a bunch of, like, cannibals, and then he just has to fight off some cannibals or whatever. Like, I don't know. Just make it weird and insane like Fury Road was.
More dope-ass cars.
Oh, for sure. And don't blow up his car 5 minutes into the film. Because his car is dope. The Interceptor is dope.
That sounds dope, though. I need to finish Fury Road so I can be ready for these sequels when they come out.
And they released when Fury Road came out, they released they re-released it in theaters for like a limited release where it was all black and white and there was no dialogue. It was just the music, and I'm like, fuck, that would have been incredible if I saw that.
People paid to go see a movie without dialogue?
Hell yeah.
Wait, was there subtitles?
I don't think so. It was just the music and the visuals. But it's Mad Max. Like, you don't need to know what the hell's going on.
I guess.
And the music in that film is great.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, Mad Max is shooting people. All right, cool.
I don't know if you could do that with any other movie, to be honest.
No, you couldn't.
Maybe Jaws.
No, because you need the dun.
Well, that's part of the music.
That's true. So forget about what I said.
All right, what's next? What's next you got?
Up next, this was really bizarre when I first heard it, but apparently Sylvester Stallone is working on a new Rocky movie about training a legal immigrant.
I I heard this. I didn't know it was about training an illegal immigrant.
Yeah,
but,
that's which is weird. I don't understand this at all.
I don't either, because he said after Creed 2 he was done, right? Like,
yeah, he made a whole like Instagram thing, like, oh, I've been playing this character for like 40 years and I'm done. Blah. But I guess not. I guess that was a lie.
I guess they were like, oh, here's a bunch of money.
Well, I don't think he would have done this like if he didn't have an idea. Like, I don't think they would give a fuck about bringing him back, because I would feel like they would probably want to do, like, the studio would probably want to do a Creed 3 more than another Rocky movie, because apparently this is like another Rocky film. This has nothing to do with
Rocky
Creed.
6. That's what it's going to be.
Rocky 7.
Or yes, Rocky 7. Sorry.
Which I don't know what they'd call it, because the last Rocky film was just called Rocky Balboa. So are they going to like add his middle name in there somewhere?
No, they're just going to call it Rocky B.
Rocky B. I mean, it sounds like it's an interesting idea, but like I don't understand.
Balboa too.
They could. That's actually a pretty badass name for a movie, Balboa.
But that also sounds like a snake movie for some reason.
Oh, because Rocky's a snake.
No, I was thinking just because boa, but
oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But like, he's gonna be so old in this movie.
Yeah, and this is kind of, they've done this like twice now, where it's like, oh, Rocky's like retired and he's training, a new fighter. They did this in Rocky 5 and it sucked. Rocky 5 sucks, and then they did it again in Creed, but Creed is kind of just a better Rocky 5. So now they're doing it again, and it's like, this is an interesting like idea, but I would like this more if Creed wasn't a thing already, because the Creed movies are fantastic, and I would feel like continuing like Creed on his adventure would be a little bit cooler than just seeing the same formula done again with another fighter.
Like, are they gonna address that Creed is in this universe?
I don't know. I don't know what this movie is. I mean, like, probably he's in the universe.
Are they gonna explain him leaving in Creed 2? And he's doing this, or is this taking place before Creed? I
would probably say this takes place after Creed 2, because it'd be weird if he's training like two people, and then it'd be weird if this person like didn't show up in the Creed movies. Like, that'd be really strange.
Maybe he dies in this movie.
Maybe, but then what the fuck is the point?
I don't know. I really don't know why they're doing this. Just make Creed 3.
Make Creed 3.
Because Creed 2 was amazing. It's one of the best. Awesome. It was one of the best movies I saw. Whatever year it came out, last year.
Last year.
It was one of the best movies of that year.
Creed 2 was great. I want a Creed 3. That's very few movies I'm like, yeah, give me more.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, Creed 1 was good, but Creed 2 was just amazing. I thought Creed 2 was
I think Creed 1 is great as well.
And just give me like 4 more Creed movies if they're that caliber. Just keep it going.
I mean, give me like one more. And then
keep it going.
That'll be good.
Rocky Balboa needs to be dead. You kill him off.
No, don't kill Rocky. There's no reason to kill Rocky. He doesn't need to die.
Like, don't kill him in the ring. Just make him like die of cancer.
No. Just let him live. Why does every character have to die?
Let him be an old man.
No, because then they'll ruin it like they did with Luke Skywalker.
No, Luke Skywalker died from whatever the hell he was doing.
Yeah, but that didn't make any sense, and it was dumb.
Like, he could just die in his sleep, old age. Like, oh, he's like an 80-year-old man.
Why can't he just retire?
The movies are about Rocky Balboa.
No, they're not. The next movie would be called Creed 3. It's about Creed.
Okay, well, all of them.
He wouldn't even be in it because he retired in the second one.
I mean, if I'm talking about in Rocky 7, they could just have him die.
No, don't make this movie, Stallone.
Well, yeah, don't do that. But if you have to make this movie, I say just kill them all. Where's
Judge Dredd 2?
I don't want that either.
Bring back Rob Schneider.
Where is Rob Schneider? I haven't seen him in a while.
He had like a Netflix show for a while.
He's not in Adam Sandler movies anymore. What happened to that?
No, I think they like got a fight or something.
Oh, damn.
This is just in my imagination. I don't know what the hell happened to Rob Schneider. In my head,
called his toupee stupid, and then
and that was a real scene. That wasn't written. That was just him being like, "Yo."
They filmed it and they put it in a movie.
Yeah, and he got upset and was like, "I don't want to be in Grown Ups 2."
Yeah, he's not in Grown Ups. Is he? No,
he's not Grown Ups 2. He's in Grown Ups 1.
Is David Spade in Grown Ups 2?
Yeah, because he doesn't have like a son or something in that.
I don't remember. I just know Shaq's in that movie.
He's in that movie. Shaq's in everything now.
No, he is not. He's not in
He's
enough
in
stuff.
everything.
He needs to be in more stuff.
Kazam. Where's Kazam 2?
That's not happening. He's a big NBA forecaster, dude. He's not going to be.
Okay, he's got all the time in the world. Do you think that job is hard?
I mean, he's got all summer. They don't do anything.
Exactly. Film him for like.
And he did just do Uncle Drew, where he was mainly the star of that.
Exactly. So where's Kazam 2?
Where's Uncle Drew 2?
Where's Steel 2? Give me a Steel 2.
Give me a prequel to Uncle Drew where they're young.
Or don't. And don't ever mention that name ever again on this podcast.
You almost bought a steelbook of that.
I did, because the steelbook is actually kind of cool looking.
That movie was terrible. I made you watch that movie.
But I'm the type of person that if you make a cool steelbook for your movie, I'll buy it. And I'll just watch it just because.
I made you sit down and watch that. I'm like, we're watching this.
How did you come across that film?
I saw a trailer for it, and I thought it was funny when he was like passing the ball Kobe, and it wasn't Kobe. So I was like, I gotta watch this now. Shaq's in it, and he makes fun of Kobe. I gotta watch it.
He does that all the time, though.
Yeah, but he's not in a movie.
And I mean, it's appropriate making fun of Kobe Bryant, because isn't he like a rapist or whatever?
It wasn't. No.
And then he won an Oscar.
He did, for that awesome poem that he wrote about a basketball.
What?
He wrote a poem about a basketball.
This was a movie?
He made a short film for it.
What? Why are all these like murderer, rapist celebrities like so weird? Like it's like him and like OJ.
He's not a murderer or a rapist.
He's the same thing.
He was acquitted.
It's like him and OJ. Him and OJ should make like a YouTube channel and just be like weirdos together.
OJ has a Twitter.
Yeah, I know. What up, Twitter world?
Or he posts the most random shit on there.
I know. I want to follow him, but at the same time, I'm scared.
What, you think he's gonna find you and just murder you?
Well, no, because like I don't want to like retweet one of his things, like making fun of him. He's like, I'm gonna get you.
I know where you live.
He was in Roots, and he ran fast as fuck. I know he's old now, but like he's probably still got them football legs.
Boxer. He was one of the most athletic people on the planet.
He wasn't a boxer. He was a football player.
Who are we talking about?
O.J. Simpson.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about Mike Tyson for some reason.
No, I'm scared of Mike Tyson as well.
He bit a dude's ear. Oh yeah, O.J. was also
again another rapist.
Did he rape somebody?
Yes, he got convicted and went to jail for rape.
I mean,
in Indiana, where we live.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
So get Mike Tyson, O.J. Simpson, and Kobe Bryant. Have them make a YouTube channel or a TV show, and just have them be weird. I would watch the shit out of that.
O.J. murdered somebody. He's not quite in the same group as Kobe Bryant and Mike Tyson. Okay.
I mean, Mike Tyson probably.
Kobe is the most tame out of all those. Mike Tyson bit a dude's ear off, and then O.J. murdered his wife.
I feel like Mike Tyson's probably murdered a couple people.
Maybe indirectly, like I punched in the face.
Indirectly, it's still murder, Devin. Doesn't matter.
It's still manslaughter.
It's like that scene in Batman Begins. I'm not gonna save you, or I'm not gonna kill you, but I have to save you. That's murder, Batman. You're a fucking idiot.
I'm just gonna slightly push this car off this cliff while you're in it.
Yeah,
it's not murder.
I'm not gonna take responsibility for it.
Gravity killed you. I didn't.
Oh, it was gravity. I didn't kill you.
I didn't do it. My hands are not on his body.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
The best line of that movie.
Dumb scene in that movie. In an otherwise near perfect film. Next, Spawn movie being delayed because of creative differences.
Oh, I heard about this. What the fuck is the creative difference?
I don't know. I tried like looking at articles to see what it was. It doesn't surprise me. Because Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, is like a weirdo who would, and his original idea for what he wanted to do with this film, it sounds so cool, but I could totally see a studio not wanting to do it because his idea is basically like, hey, why don't we make like a cop drama and then just have like 2 scenes where Spawn shows up and he doesn't fucking say anything. And the studio was probably like, no, let's make it like a Marvel movie because it's a comic book.
But not Marvel because it's not Marvel.
But not Marvel. And I'm like, I think a Spawn movie where Spawn is just like a side guy and he just shows up and scares people. I think like that's kind of neat. And I kind of like, and it's different. Like do that.
You think it's actually creative differences or they're just saying that because it's something else?
I think it's creative differences because I think Blumhouse is the studio attached to it, and I feel like they would just want to make another 90s Spawn film, which they should not do because that movie was terrible.
Use the same CGI.
Oh my god, no. The only redeeming part of that movie is the Spawn suit itself. That suit looks amazing in
because the suit's not CGI, it's practical.
No, it's all practical and it looks incredible.
The cape looks like garbage.
Well, yeah, the cape
because
looks
it's
like
CGI.
ass, which doesn't make any sense because there's some shots where Spawn's just standing there and I'm like, why didn't you just give him like a real cape?
Because they probably like, oh, this CGI is not going to match the real cape, so let's just make it CGI.
But nothing else matches the CGI, so it would have been out of place regardless.
It looks good in hell when hell looks like garbage.
When everything else looks like garbage, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so there you go.
If we make the whole movie look like garbage, then it'll fit well.
It'll look good.
Maybe that was the plan. Maybe they were like, hey, let's make a garbage film.
They pulled a Sharknado. Let's make.
They were like, these cape effects aren't good because it's 1996. So maybe if we just make the rest of the film look like garbage, maybe then it'll flow better.
That's not an excuse. Jurassic Park came out in '92 and it still looks amazing.
Yeah.
So that's not an excuse. They had 4 years to get better technology. That's no excuse.
Yeah, but I mean, Spawn.
If this movie came out in like the '70s, maybe I'd understand.
Oh my god. I can't even imagine a Spawn movie in the 70s. But this news sucks because I really want this movie to come out. It was supposed to come out this year. I guess it's just not going to come out anymore.
I was going to say, when is it pushed out indefinitely or did it?
I think it's indefinite, yeah. Which is such a shame.
It may not happen then.
Such a fucking shame.
You just have to deal with the one Spawn movie that we have.
Everything that I love is just getting thrown in the garbage, and I hate it. I hate movies.
I know. Fucking Power Rangers is gone.
Don't even. I totally forgot about that. Don't even bring up Power Rangers.
Batfleck's gone.
Oh my god.
Spawn's down the rails.
Movies suck. I hate everything. Next, Jurassic. I put Jurassic Work, but Jurassic World 3 will be a celebration of the entire franchise, says director Colin Trevorrow.
Fuck this movie.
Now, as a big Jurassic Park fan that you are, how do you feel about this?
Like, what does that even mean, though?
To me, it sounds like they're just going to be like, oh, hey, we're just going to reference the, Jurassic Park and blah, blah, blah. Because I don't know what the hell a celebration of the entire franchise means other than just references to older movies.
I don't want references. I want something new and original in a Jurassic Park movie, which is sad because none of them are new or original. They're all the same plot.
Yeah, exactly.
From the first one. And I hate it. And the second one was, or the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was complete hot garbage. And they need to make up for it. I know they just let the dinosaurs loose on the world. I guess that could be interesting. But like people have guns. They have rocket launchers. They can just explode them. I don't understand how it's an issue.
Yeah, if you shoot a rocket at a T-Rex, it's gonna die.
Yeah, like it's not.
But it's not even that. It's not even that. Like, there's that many dinosaurs. There was like maybe like 20 that got loose,
and then 3/4 of them were herbivores. They're not even meat eaters.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, what is the third one gonna be?
The third one should honestly be about trying to catch the fucking mosasaur that's in the ocean, because that's going to be your biggest issue.
That's true.
It's going to just eat all the whales.
I mean, maybe. Do you remember when they were talking about doing Jurassic Park 4 like 10, 15 years ago, and like one of the leaked ideas was
don't do it.
Dinosaur hybrids. They introduced clones, human clones in the second one. It wouldn't be that far-fetched if they did human dinosaur hybrids. I'm not saying that would be good, but at least it'd be different and interesting.
It would be garbage.
Because why else would they introduce a little girl clone?
Because they ran out of ideas and they thought it'd be a good twist.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. It was completely out of nowhere.
They're gonna merge human dinosaur DNA in the next one. I guarantee it.
If Chris Pratt becomes a dinosaur, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, he's not gonna become. He's gonna have a fist fight with a human dinosaur person.
First of all, these movies are not cop action movies where everybody fights each other. These movies are about fucking dinosaurs as monsters.
Well, Jurassic World 2
human dinosaurs, just dinosaurs.
Jurassic World 2 was a action film. Are you kidding me?
I know, and that's not what
Chris Pratt just like clotheslining a bunch of motherfuckers, and I'm like, what? I literally looked at you and I was like, what are we watching?
I hate that movie. It's the
so
worst
dumb.
one. I never thought a movie would be worse than Jurassic Park 3 in the Jurassic Park universe, but it happened.
Jurassic World is pretty bad. The first
I
one.
like Jurassic World.
I like the last like 10 minutes when it just becomes utter nonsense.
It's the second best Jurassic Park movie, but that's not saying much. All the Jurassic Park movies besides the first one are bad.
Yeah, that's not saying much at all.
But
it's just as dumb as in what's the second one called? The Lost World.
The Lost World, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost Jurassic World 1 is almost as dumb as that scene in The Lost World where Jeff Goldblum's black daughter like spin kicks a raptor in the face.
She does gymnastics. That's how they explain it away.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes total
gymnastics
sense.
And she kicks it out a window and it dies on a spike.
That's not dumb at all.
And then what isn't in Jurassic World or not in The Lost World? What's that dude's name who's in it? Oh, what's
Jeff Goldblum?
No, the other guy.
You talking about Vince Vaughn?
It's fucking Vaughn's in that movie.
Vince Vaughn's in that. Vince Vaughn's in a lot of weird stuff.
And he doesn't do shit. He's like, I'm the backup that
no
kill all these people.
He takes the hunter's bullets.
Yeah.
Which then kind of which is really fucked up because then it's like when the dinosaurs attack, they don't have any bullets. So I'm like, this is all Vince Vaughn's fault that everyone's dying.
But he's also like, I'm this badass, but he doesn't ever like shoot anybody or have a gun or anything. Like,
yeah, because he's like a vegetarian or some shit. And I'm like, they're fucking dinosaurs. They're not even real.
He just disappears like 3/4 of the movie. I don't even remember where he is at the end.
I don't
the
care.
dinosaur.
I haven't seen.
The dinosaur goes into the city and Jeff Goldblum's like, we gotta catch him.
Yeah, he goes into the city for like 5 seconds and he like eats a dog and then they just capture him and no one ever talks about that ever again.
Yeah, they completely disregard that in Jurassic Park 3. Well, they mentioned it. They're like, no one ask any questions about this because we don't know what the fuck happened.
What about the person that got their dog eaten by a giant T-Rex? They're gonna have some questions.
They're gonna have some counseling after that. I would need counseling after that.
I'd be like, I saw a dinosaur eat my dog
outside my window
at night. I was sleeping.
People are gonna think you're insane if you start telling people that.
No, nobody else heard that giant fucking dinosaur clomping around. Like, Jesus.
It wrecked a bus off the road.
Yeah, it did.
I'm done talking about this. I don't even know if I want to see this third one, but I'm going to.
Though, yeah,
I'm going to, but I don't want to.
I don't want to either. I'm done.
I'm done with
all
these faith after Fallen Kingdom.
Do you think we'll get 4 or 5?
No. They said they were doing a trilogy, and that would be it.
Oh yeah, I mean they say that, but then if Jurassic World 3 does really well, they'll make a 4.
I was gonna say if this movie like makes utter bank, like it makes $1 billion, then maybe. But.
Yeah, we'll get the Jurassic World cinematic universe. Next, there was a Zombieland 2 trailer released. Did you watch this?
I did not, but I heard about it.
I didn't watch this either.
I don't really care about
the poster
that much, though.
Zombieland's really good.
I don't care about it that much, though.
I mean, I don't think it needed a sequel, especially one a decade later. But
does it have the same cast? What's his face?
All the same cast is back. Woody Harrelson, the murderer man. What's his name?
I don't know.
He's the shaky one. What's his fucking name?
I don't know.
Jesse Eisenberg.
The shaky one.
He's always like shaking and like doing this. I don't know.
He's all fidgety.
He's like Michael J. Fox. And then Emma Stone
he actually has the shakes.
Well, yeah, I think Jesse Eisenberg kind of does too. But Emma Stone is in it, and Abigail Breslin's in it.
They actually got Emma Stone to come back. That's surprising. Out of all of them, that surprises me.
Why does that surprise you?
She just doesn't seem she'd do that movie again.
She was in fucking 2 Spider-Man films.
Yeah, the 2 worst ones.
Yeah, she'll do fucking anything.
Sorry.
Don't cough while I'm talking. But I mean, I saw the poster, and everyone kind of looks exactly the same except for Abigail Breslin because she's grown up. But everyone, like Woody Harrelson, looks like crazy old Woody Harrelson.
I mean,
Jesse Eisenberg looks exactly the same.
Old Woody Harrelson. So.
That's probably the only reason why I want to see this movie because he was fucking insane in the first Zombieland, and I want to see more of that. I want to see him and his Twinkie obsession. I want to see that come back.
I want to see him eating another pickle like in 2012.
Well, that would be in 2012 too. Did he die in that movie?
Yeah, he blew up from a volcano.
Oh shit! Really? Wow. Yeah. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, remember he's in Yellowstone, and then the volcano blows up, and he just gets obliterated.
Fuck! I remember Danny Glover died.
Yeah, he died.
He got like hit by a tidal wave.
No, there was a tidal wave, but a boat on the tidal wave killed him.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was the JFK boat too, which is kind of funny.
And he was like the president, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what makes it funny.
JFK we had a black president. JFK killed the first black president. You're racist.
God damn.
There was also, speaking of trailers, there was an It Chapter 2 trailer, but also, It Chapter 2 is going to be 2 hours and 45 fucking minutes.
I saw this. Oh my God. The first one was what, an hour? Was it 2:15?
It might have been, I think it was at least 2 hours.
I think it was 2:15. This is a half hour longer. The first one wasn't that good.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
This doesn't need to be an extra. This needs to be cut like way down. I would cut this to 2 hours max. There's no way there's that much story in it that it needs 2 hours and 45 minutes.
No, there's no way. There's no way there's that many spooks and that much story to warrant a 2.5 hour fucking It film.
It's no, you said 2 hours and 40 something minutes.
45? Yeah, 2 hours and 45.
Yeah. So
almost 3 hours.
This is 15 minutes shorter than Endgame. There's no way. There's no fucking way.
We're gonna have an epic scene at the end of It, where it's just all the Stephen King characters coming together.
Oh shit! Oh, that would actually be kind of cool. I don't know.
They were gonna do that with the Dark Tower. Dark Tower was supposed to like be the start of the Stephen King cinematic universe or whatever. Then nobody fucking saw it, and they stopped.
We don't talk about that. Idris Elba.
It has a dope steelbook though.
Idris Elba just knocking those movies out of the park, man.
Just taking great roles, man.
Just getting them big bucks.
Just getting that paycheck. That's all the movie news I have.
Okay, I have a couple more things. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy TV reboot is coming to Hulu.
I saw this as well. This was TV news. I didn't even put it in my TV news though, but I saw this. This is interesting.
I haven't seen the original in years. So
it's on Netflix. You should watch it.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's not very long.
It's like 82 minutes.
Yeah,
like
it's not
short as hell. It's a real movie. It has real actors in it, Devin. It has Sam Rockwell, who is fantastic in that fucking movie. He's so funny.
So is this going to be a show? Is that what it's?
This is this is a series. I think it's on Hulu or something.
Yeah, that's what they said. It's coming to Hulu. So that means Disney's making it.
Shit.
Disney owns Hulu.
It's gonna be all Disney-ified.
What do you expect from the show? Anything?
I mean, I don't know. I know the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was like a book series or something. I don't read, so I'm sure they're gonna adapt more of, they're gonna make it more like the books or whatever.
You don't read because you don't know how to read.
I don't know how. I haven't read books in like half my life. I really don't know what this show is gonna be though. I'll watch it if it's good, but
I hope as long as it's not long. Like, I'm starting to get tired of long TV shows. Like, stop it.
Like, have each episode be like 2 hours or something.
Make each episode like 30 minutes and do like 8 episodes. Like, it'd be fun.
Yeah. I love when shows are like that. Like Ash vs. Evil Dead was only had like 10 episodes and each episode was like 30 minutes. And I was like, thank God.
That's the kind of show I want. I want to be able to binge all of it in like a day. Yeah. Like Daredevil, I couldn't do that. It's with 3 seasons and all episodes are 45 minutes. It's just way
No, it takes me a while. Whenever I watch Daredevil, I have to like space it out between days at a time.
Breaking Bad, 5 seasons, each episode's 45 minutes long. That takes me forever too to get through if I want to rewatch that.
Yeah. I hope TV goes back to that where it's just like, here's a 25-minute episode that you can just watch. And
The Walking Dead is not helping that. It's making hour-long episodes for 10 seasons.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
Keeping it going. I don't know why I started with TV news, but that was the only one I had. No, I have another one. I'm saving it for later.
Do you have TV news? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But
I'll
save it for later. Well. I'll save it for later. I don't know why I started with that.
I have one bit of TV news.
All right, well, you go ahead. You go with that.
Apparently, AMC is discussing The Walking Dead running for 20 seasons. This is your fault, Devin.
Fuck that. No.
This is all your fault.
This is what I think. Okay. They do their 3 TV movies or whatever. Theatrical
TV. They're going to be in the theater.
Okay. Well, you do those 3. If there's 2 years in between them, that's 6 years. So I say you end the show on the 16th season at the most, so that you could bring Rick back and end the show with that. Just
They're not going to do that, Devin.
that's what they need to do.
They're going to go for 20.
I think they should end the show at like 12.
I think they should have ended the show in like the 3rd season, because the whole premise of like zombies running around isn't like, that's not something that can last for like
They just
20 years.
They just ended the comic. They don't have any more source material soon because they caught up.
They have the games. They can ape off the games.
The show has caught up to the comics pretty recently, so they're running out of source material. This is what's weird though. I saw the Walking Dead season 10 trailer, and it looks to me though that like they might split the group up and just like reboot the show almost.
I mean, they might.
Like I saw a thing where they had Daryl and Carol like leaving the group, and I could totally see them just following those two and just going off and making the show about them.
What was Fear the Walking Dead? What the hell was that?
It was supposed to be the beginning of it, like while Rick's in a coma, before that. But you don't really see how the outbreak starts. It just kind of happens, and
whole show is kind of pointless then.
Yeah, but it takes place in San Francisco, which is on the other side of the country.
Oh, great. So, I mean, they can just do more of that. They can just be like, oh, here's what's going on over here in Mexico.
Well, they were going to do like that. They were going to do this dope crossover, and if they would have done it, it would have been amazing. But the Fear the Walking Dead people were going towards Atlanta, which is where the Walking Dead takes place, right? And I told you about the Whisperers. I don't know if I told you about that or not, but they're like the villains.
People that dress up like zombies or whatever.
Yeah, they wear masks as they wear zombie masks and they hide in zombies. But they were gonna make the Fear the Walking Dead cast become the Whisperers in the Walking Dead TV show, which that would have been dope. So you get the cast and make them villains of the main show, and you have a whole spin-off show explaining their backstory already. Like that,
I mean, that sounds cool.
That would have been so cool. I think that could have worked really well, but they didn't do that. They started taking cool characters from the original and putting it in Fear the Walking Dead. And then that was their big crossover, man. Oh, let's take one character from the main TV show and put them in Fear, because Fear the Walking Dead's ratings are going down. So let's do that.
I don't know. It sounds like the Walking Dead should have just ended after like the first season, because the first couple seasons are actually really good, and then they should have stopped.
If it would have ended like right when Glenn died, it would have been a really good show.
Like season 6.
Yeah, season 6 would have been the last season.
That's fair, yeah. But no, we got to make that money.
Got to make that movie. I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's still in it, so there's that. That's the only reason I'm still watching it.
Should have been Batman.
And then I can never pronounce her name right, but Michonne, who she's still.
Oh, Denai Guevara or whatever her name is.
Yeah, this is her last season though. She's leaving the show after this.
Well, yeah, she's doing Marvel shit now. She's
a big movie star.
She's A-list now.
All right, so let's stop talking about that, because I know you're not a big fan of Walking Dead. So I'm saving this. This is TV news, but I'm gonna save it for later because it's gonna pique your interest. So I'm saving.
So do it now. We're in the TV section. Do it now.
I'm saving it for later.
What do you mean later? What is it?
Just after these other two. I have 2 more things, and then I'll say it.
Okay, talk about those other 2 things. Why does it matter what order you say these things in?
Because it piques your interest, and I want to save it for the end.
Okay, go ahead.
Tom Holland is being eyed for the Disney Atlantis reboot. Did you see that?
I saw it. This is weird.
I mean, he just seems too young. I mean, he's not young, but he seems too young to be playing.
He's got a baby face.
Milos? Is that his name, Milo?
Milo. Singular. I don't understand why everyone wants these fucking Disney remakes. Like, if you like cool, you like Atlantis, The Lost Empire, great animated film. I fucking grew up watching that film. We had that film on VHS. Go watch that. Why do we have to have a live action version that, even if it's good, it's not going to be the original? And people will always compare it to the original. So what is the fucking point other than just making money?
You're either going to pull a Lion King where you're going to remake it shot for shot, which I don't want, because you can just watch the original, or you're going to change it and people are going to hate you for changing it. So
exactly.
You're going to lose either way with remaking these movies.
If you want a live action Atlantis movie, just go watch Aquaman.
That's a bad movie. We already talked about that. That's not a good movie.
It's a live action Atlantis movie.
I mean, it's about Atlantis, I guess.
Yeah. What else would they be able to do with this fucking movie? They made a sequel to that movie that no one ever talks about because it was bad.
True.
It was like Atlantis Milo's Return or whatever. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I'm back to go have sex with that brown girl."
I'm trying to remember if I've seen. I don't think I've seen that movie.
It was like a straight to DVD thing.
Didn't the first one they blew up Atlantis?
I think so. I haven't seen that movie in years, but I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember. I haven't seen.
Well, didn't that brown chick became like a god or something, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think she probably just like came back and was like, "I made a new Atlantis."
She turned blue. That's what
she did.
And her tattoo started glowing.
Yeah, she became an avatar.
Oh shit. Next, this isn't really news, anything to do with movies, but kind of. Netflix market value drops $26 billion in the span of a week.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of money.
I keep hearing that like Netflix is losing subscribers and stuff. Do you think Netflix will be around in the next like 5 years?
This is Disney Plus. This is what's doing this.
Disney Plus is taking the subscribers away and stuff?
I think Disney Plus is starting to split this market value up too much. Hulu, Disney Plus, and Netflix are competing for this top, and Amazon Prime are competing for this top spot, and there's 4 of them. So
yeah, probably
somebody's got to take the hit, and Netflix has the biggest subscribers, so it's got to be them. Apparently, they're still worth $100 billion, so it's not like it affected them too much, but that's a lot of money still. In a week, they lost that in a week.
They lost that in a week? Jesus.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about it. I don't know. I'm starting to get worried for Netflix. I mean, Netflix, they do okay with some of their original shows and stuff, but if they keep losing money and subscribers like this, you never know. They could go out. They could be the next Blockbuster and just be gone.
Oh my god. They could be, but I don't know. I think they still have some fight in them. I think they still have some.
They're losing Friends. I mean,
oh man, a show that's been around for like 20 years.
I know, but people watch that like on rerun all the time.
Yeah, I know. They do that with The Office, and everyone lost their goddamn mind when they're like, "Oh, The Office is leaving in like 2 years," and everyone's like, "What?" I'm like, "Watch new stuff."
There's other shows on Netflix, people.
Yeah,
go watch Daredevil.
Go watch Daredevil. Then maybe it wouldn't have got canceled. It probably still would have got canceled, but
it was the 3rd highest viewing show on Netflix, and it still got canceled.
Yeah, because it was fucking really good.
Exactly. But then I don't know. I really still don't know if Netflix did it or Marvel did it.
I think Netflix did it out of pettiness because Marvel didn't own the TV stuff. They had like a separate because Daredevil's like an ABC show in like cooperation with Netflix, so it's like they're the ones involved with it. They just had the Marvel license.
Well, so those shows aren't canon anymore.
Yeah, so none of this fucking matters.
It doesn't matter. Okay, and then this is the last news. I know this will pique your interest because it's something you love. We may get a Ninja Turtles adult-themed Netflix-style live-action TV reboot.
Is this animated?
No, it's live action.
What?
Yeah.
Are they gonna have are they gonna be CG like the Bay Turtles?
I don't know about that, but
it'd be awesome if they brought back the suits from the first film.
They use the exact same suits. They go find them in a warehouse somewhere.
Hell yeah. CG the mouths, because I have the first Ninja Turtles movie on DVD and I rewatched it like not too long ago. The suits look great. They look fantastic. But the way their mouths move is horrifying because it doesn't match up with what they're saying. So like maybe CG the mouth a little bit, but bring back the practical suits. But this sounds awesome because I've been wanting a like mature adult Ninja Turtles like movie or something, because the comics, there was there's been a lot of mature IDW Ninja Turtles comics, and originally the Ninja Turtles were supposed to be a little bit more adult. They had like fucking guns, and then they were like, oh, we can't do this, and they made them ninjas.
Well, this is going to be a TV show. I don't know if you heard that too. It's going to be a live action TV show on Netflix. So
that's going to be dope.
I don't know who the cast is. I don't know when it comes out, but it's in the works.
This sounds awesome.
I hope it is good because, I mean, the new movies aren't amazing.
They're not good.
I remember the originals to this day because I remember watching those as a kid.
1 and 2 are really good. The second one had Vanilla Ice in it. Go Ninja Go. The third one can go fuck itself. The third one's really bad.
All of them have Shredder in it, don't they? as the villain?
I don't think he's in the third one. He might be. He's the villain in the first one and the second one. Sam Rockwell's in the first one.
Is he?
And he's like really young. Yeah, he plays like one of the underground like kids.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he plays like Casey or whatever.
No, that would have been dope. Sam Rockwell as Casey Jones.
Chris Evans voiced Casey Jones in one of the animes.
He did TMNT, which is well, when I saw it, it was good, but I was like 10 when that movie came out.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
I haven't either. All I remember is that scene where Raph and Leo get in a fight, and Leo's just like, "Oh, why do you think you're better than everyone?" He's like, "Because I am." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah."
That's my Leonardo.
That's why Raph said that. Raph was like, I'm fucking better than you.
I mean,
or no,
true.
I think Leo did say that, because I think Raph was like, "Why do you think you're better than everyone?" And then Leo's like, "Because I fucking am, you bitch."
I mean, Raph is better though.
Raph's my favorite.
He's a better fighter, but Leo's a better leader.
I mean, they're all kind of shitheads.
There's just Michelangelo, who's just the dumb idiot. But
he likes pizza. Well, they all like pizza, but he really
I relate to him the most.
Yeah, because he's so cool.
I also like the color orange. Well, my favorite color is green, but their bodies are
they're all green.
So that's all the non-Marvel and DC stuff I have. You got anything else you want to?
That's all the Marvel or non-Marvel stuff that I have.
All right. Do you want to do your DC stuff, since we both only have one thing that we're talking about?
Sure. I actually have one bit of video game news that also happens to be DC news.
Oh shit! All right, let's do it. Let's hear it.
Apparently, WB Montreal is working on a DC franchise game.
Ooh.
Now, WB Montreal, if you remember correctly, made Arkham Origins, which was a piece of trash. But I think they also did the Shadow of Mordor games, which are actually pretty good. So, depending on what this is, it could be up in the air. Who knows?
That was an emotional roller coaster for me. I don't know if you could hear it, but
I could. Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I don't know. They haven't said like what this is yet. They've just said like, "Hey, we're working on it."
I was about to say, does this mean that like it's like going to be a bunch of the DC characters in a game?
I think it's just gonna be like another Arkham series where it's like, hey, let's make a Green Arrow game, and then we just make 3 Green Arrow games.
No, I don't want that. I want like Superman and Batman in the same game.
We don't want that, but
like, that's what I want.
We're never gonna get that, unfortunately. That Superman game still isn't
if you
a
make
thing.
A good story around a game with Batman and Superman, it would make all the money.
It would.
If you made it like online co-op somehow, that would be amazing.
I just want an open world game where I can be Batman and Superman.
Yeah. You do that, and then you make an online co-op too, where somebody can be Batman.
Why don't we make video games?
Because we don't know how.
Shit. Let's learn how to make video games, because I want to make this.
That takes years of experience that I don't.
I don't care. I want to make a Batman versus Superman game.
Go back to school for video game design. There you go.
That's too much work.
Yeah, see what I mean?
But who would you want? Like, which DC character outside of Superman would you want this to be? Because everyone wants a Superman game.
Well, yeah. When was the last time a Superman game came out?
Superman Returns.
I don't want Wonder Woman. Fuck that.
A Wonder Woman game could be fun.
Martian Manhunter, the premise would sound fun, but I don't know if anybody would play it.
A Martian Manhunter game would just be like Prototype.
Yeah, but you just morph.
It's like Prototype. You just morph into other people. Shoot laser beams and shit.
Honestly, I'd say go like a Teen Titans game or something. I don't know why.
That could be interesting. That could actually work.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm leaning towards, is doing a Teen Titans game.
That could be.
I don't know how you would do it. Like, I don't know if you would make use of one character at a time, or you would have like a team or what. I don't know. But
I don't know. They can make a co-op.
They could.
They could have 4-player online co-op.
Don't make it Destiny co-op.
No, don't make it Destiny. Don't make it a fucking MMO.
But if I had to pick like one character, I don't know. I don't know who I'd pick.
I want a Booster Gold game.
No, fuck that. Why are you so obsessed with Booster Gold?
Because he's a dumb idiot.
Make it fucking Hawkman or Hawkgirl.
Hey, don't talk shit about Hawkman.
Hawkgirl.
Hawkman and Hawkgirl are actually kind of interesting.
Green Lantern could be a fun.
There was a Green Lantern game and it was fucking garbage.
Yeah, but you could make it better.
You could. Yeah, you could. That'd be hard to do though, because the Green Lantern ring,
Can
is
do
like
anything.
you can anything you can imagine, and it's like in the game it'll be like, oh, you can make a couple like guns.
No, like make it so you can type stuff and you can literally make anything.
Make it like scribble knots.
Yeah, like I want a cat that's on fire.
That'd be really great. But at the same time, they'd probably have you play as Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan really only comes up with like big guns and a boxing glove and like dumb shit.
Here's a jet.
So
throw it to your face.
I'm gonna make this giant jet and I'm just gonna throw it at you. I'm not gonna get in it and like do something with it. I'm just gonna throw a jet at you.
I've noticed that he does that a lot. He makes big things, but he doesn't ride in them. He just throws them at people.
Yeah. Hey, how am I gonna save all these people from falling out of a building? I'm gonna make a giant baseball mitt instead of just creating a bubble. Like, why?
Like a normal person.
Like a normal human being. Hal Jordan's a dumb idiot.
Why did the ring chose him? I don't know.
Because the writing said
you
so.
You hear my perfect English there? Why did the ring chose him?
Why did the ring chose him? Because he's Frodo.
Because he's Frodo. Who would you pick as a game as a character in the game? There's a lot of DC characters, but a lot of them aren't game relatable is what my issue is.
Yeah, a lot of them really aren't. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have like a Flash game. I think that could be kind of neat.
That could be fun. I don't know what you would do besides just saving people from.
You just run fast.
Yeah, but like they could do like a slow motion type thing. That'd be cool. Yeah.
No, it'd be like QWOP, but you're dressed as the Flash.
QWOP? What the fuck?
Remember QWOP, that game where you have to like hit the keys and the dude moves all weird, but it's like a running game.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never heard of QWOP?
No. Before my time.
It's not. It's in our time.
I was gonna say we're the same age, but it was before my time.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
I would love a Batman game that's just kind of like, hey, you're doing detective shit. Like do a Court of Owls Batman game. Like that'd be dope.
People would be outraged by that.
Well, I mean, the Telltale Batman games are kind of like that. Just go more in depth with it.
Yeah, but that's a Telltale game. You don't do anything. You just click a button.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do more. You could take that idea and that concept and just expand it into like a real game.
Make a fucking Doomsday game. Make a Joker game.
A Doomsday game.
It's like the Hulk, but you're Doomsday.
You make a Death of Superman game, but from Doomsday's perspective. In the whole game, you just beat the shit out of Superman.
Shit.
How well can you beat the shit out of Superman?
Like a Deathstroke game where you fight Batman.
Oh, man. That'd be incredible.
And you kill Batman.
If they made a Teen Titans game, he'd probably be the villain because Deathstroke originally was a Teen Titans villain.
I think the Teen Titans games could work. If you're like,
it could. There was a Justice League game on PS2 that was it was like top down, and you could like play as a couple, like each level you played as like different members of the Justice League, and it was really fun.
I think that could work.
Do it like that.
Like I said, a lot of DC characters though just don't resonate into a game very well. Like,
no, really.
In a Wonder Woman game, what would you do?
You'd be an Amazonian and you just like do Amazonian shit.
And you
have a big sword.
You fly around in your invisible jet.
Hell yeah.
Which
you lasso people.
That wasn't in Justice League. Where's the fucking invisible jet?
That wasn't in Wonder Woman either.
I know. Where is it? Where's the invisible jet?
But she kind of flew in Wonder Woman at the end. Really high. But she didn't, like, she was just in the air and she didn't move. Was she flying?
No.
No, because if you jump, you have to come back down. She was up in the air for like 5 minutes.
Cartoon physics where you don't fall until you look down.
That movie's dumb.
Okay, I think
That's all the video game news I have.
I think we talked about that for too long.
We did.
All right, so what are we doing? DC news? Yeah, that's right.
DC news.
What's your news you got? What do you got?
Apparently, and this is just a rumor, but apparently J.J. Abrams is going to direct a new Superman movie.
Ooh.
Which is interesting.
Okay.
He was gonna direct a Superman movie before Superman Returns came out. He had like a script. It was called Superman like Flyby or something that he was gonna direct, but then that fell through.
Is this gonna have Henry Cavill in it, or?
I have no idea. Again, it's a rumor. There's not really a whole lot about it. I doubt it. I feel like this would be like they just cast a new Superman and be like, fucking it, whatever.
I'm interested though. I want to know more about it before I say I would want to see it, but I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, J.J. Abrams is a talented director. I don't like how like all of his movies though he's kind of just like, oh, it's movies are mystery boxes and everything has to be a fucking mystery, because then he would do the thing in Star Wars where it's like, who are Rey's parents? He'd be like, who are Superman's parents? And then it would never be explained, and it's just like, we don't need that.
But like that's from him doing Lost for so long.
Yeah, that's why Lost was bad.
Well, I mean, it was good until the end where you wanted all the answers and they didn't give it to you.
That whole show was bad. There's a giant smoke monster, and then like, doesn't a polar bear show up or something in that show?
I haven't seen
like it. You're in the middle of the fucking jungle.
Dylan's seen it. He could tell you.
That whole show's dumb.
Dylan was so mad when he watched the ending. He was like, it was so bad.
Dylan was like 8 when that show ended.
I know, but no, like he rewatched it as
older. I was about to say, I could imagine 8-year-old Dylan just sitting there like, man, this sucks.
I hate it. He throws his juice box on the ground.
I hate it.
I got my DC news is Superman related also.
What is it?
The writers of Endgame, who also wrote Infinity War, Civil War, and The Winter Soldier, want to write a Superman movie and give him the Captain America treatment. That's quote unquote what they said.
I mean, what does the Captain America treatment mean?
Kind of like, I got the gist of it as Captain America doesn't need to change his personality. The world around him needs to change more for him to have challenges. It's kind of like how.
But Captain America does kind of change his personality.
Not really. Like his morals doesn't really change throughout the MCU.
His morals don't, but his personality. Like if you watch,
that's what I meant. Personality. I meant morals.
Morals, yeah. I mean, his morals are always the same. But like
Superman's the same way. His morals are perfect. Like he's a perfect superhero.
Yeah, but I kind of don't want. Everyone wants like a Superman movie where he's like, oh, he makes the right choices and he makes the right decisions and all the time. And I like that moment in Man of Steel where he has to snap Zod's neck, and that's a choice he had to make, and that was a surprising choice for Superman to make. But he made that choice, and that was the right choice in that moment. I want a Superman to deal with his morality and have his morality questioned. I don't just want him to be like, oh, truth, justice, and the American way, and I know how to do everything, and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like if they
go the Winter Soldier route, though, and they just break his trust, like you don't have to change his morality, just break his trust with like, oh, U.S. government's bad or something like that. I don't know.
Well, he already doesn't trust the government because he's a fucking idiot.
But you could do it some other way, like like Alfred's the villain or something. I don't know.
Alfred?
Alfred does beat the shit out of Superman in one of the comics.
He does. It's really dumb. I think it was in like one of the Injustice comics or something.
Yeah, he does.
It was stupid.
Kryptonite or something. Piece of shit.
No, he takes like a pill or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. He gets jacked up.
Yeah, fucking. It's real dumb.
But I mean, they did good with Captain America. Those writers did.
They did, and they'd probably make a damn good Superman movie. But I just don't want. I don't want Christopher Reeve Superman anymore, where he's all just I'm Superman and
where's my Henry Cavill
saving cats out of trees and shit. I want Superman to struggle a little bit and have to worry about like is what I'm doing right and stuff like that, because I think that's interesting. That's what's interesting about Batman.
Would make that Superman. He doesn't seem like the type of person to make that Superman.
I don't think he would. I think he'd probably go the normal, like what everyone thinks of Superman as route, instead of giving him any kind of struggle, which that's the main problem with a lot of Superman stuff, is that he never has anything, like he has no struggles. Because
his morality is always perfect. He always makes the right decision. That's Superman. That's his thing.
Yeah, and that's cool in the comics.
That's fine in the comics. Yeah, like you said. Yeah.
In a movie, I want him to struggle a little bit because characters have to struggle.
Yeah, but how do you make Superman struggle? The perfect human being.
They did it in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, but everyone hated it.
So.
Yeah, so that's the audience's fault. It's not the movie's fault.
Well, that's all the DC news I have.
That's all DC stuff I got.
All right, well, on to the Marvel news. I got quite a bit of Marvel news. How much do you got?
I've got like 3 things, and they're all like really small.
You go first, then. You go with yours.
Far From Home is the first Spider-Man movie to make $1 billion.
I saw this, and this finally re-ups their contract so they can make a third one.
I don't believe that was in the contract. I think that was bullshit.
That is why they didn't announce anything in Phase 4. Is because they didn't know if they were going to be able to make a third one.
I think that whole thing was bullshit, because that's such a weird thing to have in a contract.
It's Sony though.
Sony was so confident in Spider-Man that they're like, if it doesn't make $1 billion, we're just gonna take it back. Like, all right, Sony, that's some balls on Sony.
It gave them an out. They could take him early if they wanted to. With this, Kevin Feige said that there's a possibility 2021 release for Spider-Man 3. Possibility.
I mean, that makes sense.
That's 2 years.
That's fine. You want a Spider-Man movie like tomorrow?
No, I want it in 3 years. I don't want it. I feel like it's too soon, but
no, I think that's fine because I think with the cliffhanger that Far From Home had, I think you need to wrap that shit up immediately. I don't think that's one that you can just leave open forever.
It does come out in 2021. That'll be the first year 4 Marvel movies come out in that year.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I mean, hey, they're ramping it up. We're gonna get eventually every movie that comes out is just gonna be a Marvel movie.
And then who knows when Blade comes out, so they could put that in there, and then 5 Marvel movies come out.
Ah, shit! Too many goddamn films.
I'm glad that Spider-Man finally crossed $1 billion. I wasn't surprised by this at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I wasn't either. And now people can stop fucking saying, "Oh, Spider-Man 3 is the highest grossing Spider-Man movie." Go fuck yourself. Spider-Man 3 is garbage.
Is also one of the worst Spider-Man movies. So
it is, but everyone, all those Raimi fucks defend it. Oh, it's actually not that bad. No, it's a bad fucking movie. Get over it. If everyone makes fun of Justice League for being bad, I'm gonna make fun of Spider-Man 3 being bad.
I mean, Avatar is the second highest grossing movie right now, and it wasn't that good either.
No, Avatar sucked as well.
So, I mean, box office doesn't make your movie good.
It doesn't, but a lot of dumb people don't realize that, and they think, "Oh, well, it made a lot of money. That means it's good, right?"
Like
all the Transformers movies make billions of dollars, but that doesn't mean anything.
Endgame has made the most money. I wouldn't even say it's the best MCU movie, but I mean, it deserved it for how much work the MCU has put into.
It's not the best MCU film.
It's not. So it shouldn't even be the #1 gross of all time. But I think it deserves it for how much the MCU has put in work for these movies.
I mean, it's definitely like an achievement.
Yeah. It'll get beat in a couple years by something else.
Avatar 2 will probably beat it.
Avatar 2 is not even making $2 billion.
I feel like you say that, but I feel like it will.
I don't think it will. I think it'll crack 1.5, but it won't crack 2.
I don't know. I mean, people are really excited to see those blue cats.
No, they're not. I have not seen anybody who's like, I am so amped to see Avatar 2.
There's a lot of Avatar fans out there. They're hiding.
Whatever.
They'll come out of the blue when the second one comes out. Next, Andy Serkis is in the running to direct Venom 2.
Oh, shit.
This is weird.
Is he a director?
Yeah, he's directed a couple movies.
What has he directed? Anything good?
He directed Breathe with Andrew Garfield. I haven't seen it. It looked kind of like soap opera-y and dumb. And he did that Netflix Jungle Book movie, Mowgli, which I also have not seen.
Wasn't he in Mowgli? I thought he was.
He was probably in it somewhere. He was probably one of the animals. But
I was gonna say, I thought he was mocapped in that movie.
He directed it as well.
I don't know. I mean, Venom 2 is not going to be good anyway, so. I mean, it's gonna have Carnage. Remember that?
It's gonna be Carnage.
What do you say? No, there's gonna be Carnage. That's
what I said.
No, you said it's gonna be Carnage.
It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's Woody Harrelson in a dumb wig.
I mean, he's gonna be CGI through most of it.
I guess, but fuck.
I want to hear a stupid laugh. I want to know if it's right or not.
Carnage laughs?
Yeah, no, Cletus Cassidy's laugh.
Oh, yeah, it's just a Joker laugh.
No, it's super high pitched and creepy.
It's a Joker laugh.
Oh,
Joker has a high pitched laugh, Devin.
Just have Mark Hamill come in and do the laugh.
Shit, that'd be real spooky.
Dub it over Woody Harrelson. I want Venom 2 is gonna be garbage. The first, I lost all faith after the first Venom.
It probably will be, but I mean, at least Andy Serkis, like, he's a good actor. I don't know if he's really a good director, but I mean, it's better than nothing. I don't
think Andy Serkis will save this film, though. That's what I'm trying to say. Who the fuck thought it was a good idea, though, in the first Venom movie to have him eat a live lobster? Like, what the hell?
Sony did.
Who was writing that and was like, this is genius?
Well, but see, we can talk shit about Venom all we want, but Venom made like $800 million. So like people fucking love this movie.
I don't understand why. I feel like we're the weirdos in this because everybody loves this movie and we hate it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why people like this movie so much.
I feel that way about a lot of stuff, Devin.
I don't understand. I said it as soon as we left. I was like, I didn't like this movie.
I get why people enjoy it because it's dumb, it's goofy, and it's just surface level. Like there's nothing in it other than it's goofy and it's silly and boo, and that's what people like about the MCU stuff.
The only
It's goofy, silly nonsense.
Was the part where he calls him a pussy for not jumping off the building.
That was funny because it was an actual joke that was well timed.
Yeah, but everything else I didn't really find that funny.
I found Tom Hardy sitting in a lobster tank kind of funny, but only because of how weird that scene was.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then what's the fuck is the end? Like a turd rolling in the wind. Like what the hell? What is that?
That was,
Who wrote this? Who wrote that movie?
I'll cut off all your arms and legs and roll you down the street like a turd in the wind. I'm like, that's not Venom.
Who? No one says that. Who just says that? Who just says something?
If someone said that, I'd be like really? Like that's strange. I wouldn't be scared anymore at that point.
That's the best thing you could come up with.
Be like, really? You're this badass looking like alien monster, and you said that? Like, really?
Look at your teeth. Look at your teeth. And that's what you say to me? To say turd? I've never heard Venom say turd ever, and it doesn't need to happen.
I don't think he's ever said turd.
It would have been better if he said shit, like shit blowing in the wind.
Yeah, but it's for the kids, Devin.
PG-13, he said shit.
It's for the kids.
Anyways, Andy Serkis directing Venom 2. I don't care. It's not going to change.
It probably won't.
Because, I mean, Sony's going to bullshit that up as much. They're not going to even let him do any free reign on it. So
no, they'll probably just make it shit anyway. So
yeah,
it'd be cool if Andy Serkis directed like an MCU film or something.
That would be dope. Maybe Black Panther 2.
No, he's not black though.
But he was in the first one.
But he's not black. You in this day and age, you have to have a black director direct black people, or else
he killed him off in the first one for some stupid reason.
Because he was white.
I've heard they might bring him back in that.
Of course, of fucking course.
But not as coming back to life as a human per se, but coming back as pure sound.
Okay, how does it? They didn't even set up that his powers had anything to do with sound in the first one.
Yeah, but like
like that's his character in the comics, but in the movie, like that wasn't a thing.
How does Black Panther fight that? He's sound.
I don't know. They find ways to do it in the comics.
Let's put him in a jar like he's a ghost from Ghostbusters.
Let's put his head in a jar like in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh shit! Like Walt Disney.
Shit.
It's all come full circle.
Fuck.
What's your last piece of Marvel news you got?
It's another rumor, but Hugh Jackman rumored for MCU Norman Osborn.
Oh, I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
I was kind of excited at first, and then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I don't want that.
I want Hugh Jackman to just like get really fat and pull like a Christian Bale and just be in like some weird movie. I don't want him anywhere near the superhero genre anymore. Like, just make weird shit. Make like weird indie movies and stuff, because he's a damn good actor.
I mean, he does Broadway and stuff though.
Stop doing Broadway. Nobody cares about Broadway.
Do more musicals.
Greatest Showman 2 is apparently coming out.
Oh, really? I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Greatest Showman 1 was great.
Apparently, it did very well for a musical.
So. It did, because it was great.
I like the soundtrack. Everything else was stupid.
It's a musical, Devin. All musicals are stupid.
Well, I didn't even like the whole soundtrack. I liked just a couple.
Soundtrack's great. You're a madman.
Whatever. Is that all you wanted to talk about with that stuff?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a rumor. It doesn't really matter. I'd prefer Matthew McConaughey as Norman Osborn, but that's just me.
I think they should just get some random dude off the street to play Norman Osborn. Me, I should play Norman Osborn.
You're too young.
Just put a beard on me. I'll be okay.
Get James Franco.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire's Norman Osborn. Holy shit. He's not scary enough, though.
Woody Harrelson.
He's Carnage.
I mean, who cares about that?
Woody Harrelson could have been a solid Norman Osborn, but he's fucking Carnage now.
Yeah, who cares about that? Just like Sony, we're doing this. Just letting you know.
Or just bring back Sam Rockwell.
Bring back Sam Rockwell.
He was in Iron Man 2.
Oh. I thought you meant from the original Spider-Man. So
no, just bring him back. Replace Norman Osborn with Justin Hammer and just have him be like the new... No, just have Justin Hammer be like in the role of Norman Osborn.
Oh.
Because they're basically the same.
Why are they making all the Spider-Man villains related to Iron Man? Why would they do that?
I hope in the third one they get rid of that shit because that was really dumb in Far From Home.
The motives of Mysterio is just great.
Oh, Iron Man fucking screwed me over, so I'm gonna get back at his fake son.
Tony Stark was able to build it in a cave.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. It's the best line ever.
It turns that dude evil, apparently.
But it took him 10 years before he did it.
Master plan.
Well, it took him longer than that because in the timeline of the MCU, it's like 15 years. So it took him 15 years before he fucking did anything.
He hasn't aged a day in 15 years.
No, not at all.
Maybe he got killed in the snap, so he only had 10 years.
Sure.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
We'll give him that. He should be mad at Thanos then, not fucking Tony Stark.
It took 5 years for my life, but not really because it didn't like make me age 5 years either.
Yeah.
I'll start out with my Marvel news. I think they're all MCU related. Yeah, they are. Dylan Spruce wants to play the Human Torch in the MCU.
Dylan Sprouse can go fuck himself.
Why? Why does he want it? Why?
Well, I mean, of course he wants to. Like, it always fascinates me when I see these celebrities and stuff be like, oh, I want to play like Moon Knight or whatever. Like, I want to play Moon Knight. That doesn't mean shit. All right. Like, of course you would want to be in a multi-billion-dollar franchise like the MCU. Like, oh, yeah, it makes sense. That doesn't mean you're gonna be in it.
I think
and he'd be a weird Human Torch.
I was gonna say, I think everybody at this point wants to be in the MCU.
I think Andrew Garfield should be the Human Torch.
I think Zac Efron should be.
Zac Efron he's a little too big, like girth wise.
He'd be fine. I think it'd be okay.
He's got the comedic chops and stuff for it, but he needs to slim down a little bit because he's fucking jacked.
Nah, I think he'd be fine. I think he'd be good.
I don't want a jacked Human Torch. What if he's the Thing?
No.
Zac Efron is the Thing?
No, I would not like that.
I think that'd be kind of okay.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews would be a damn good thing as well.
This is far from home related. Confirmed Nick Fury has not been a Skrull until Far From Home. So at the end of Endgame, that is actually Nick Fury. It's been confirmed.
Okay, was that like something people were worried about?
Well, I mean, people have been like, "Oh, has Nick Fury been a Skrull like this whole time, like since Captain Marvel or something?" But no, apparently he was Nick Fury up until after Endgame. So,
okay,
it's just letting you know.
That's everyone said that. I was like, who gives a shit? It's Nick Fury. Even if that's not the real Nick Fury, it's still Nick Fury. Like, who gives a fuck? And
then, I mean, this next news, we all kind of knew this, but Kevin Feige confirms there will be a 5th Avengers movie.
Yeah, there will be. It'll be, probably phase 6 probably before we see one, but there will be.
I can see one at the end of phase 5. I can see it.
Phase 5, yeah, I can see one at the end of phase 5. I think they should do other team up stuff outside of the Avengers. Get rid of the Avengers name and do other team up stuff.
They could do a young Avengers. They could do a new Avengers. They could do different stuff.
Do they have any other does Marvel have any other teams that aren't like Avengers?
The West Coast Avengers.
No, that don't have the word like Avengers in it.
I think so. There's a Canadian team. I don't know what they're called.
Oh, Alpha Flight.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck, they could do Alpha Flight. Do Alpha Flight.
That'd be stupid though.
It probably would, but I mean it's comics.
They could do a TV show about it.
No, because you need Wolverine.
Oh, it's shit. Oh yeah, that's right.
Wolverine's in Alpha Flight. He's like the
Wolverine
leader.
could be the bridge from the TV shows to the movies.
Shit.
Eternals movie will show Celestials and will possibly show the origin of Nowhere.
That's cool. Do you think Ego is going to be in this movie?
That would be really dope, actually.
Because he's a Celestial.
I doubt it. Because I think he is super old.
He's a Celestial. They said in Guardians 2, he's a Celestial. I think that would be really fun if we just had a cameo.
Maybe. I mean, you could do it. I mean, you could just make him a planet in the background somewhere.
Yeah, just have that weird planet with the face on it.
Like, oh, there he is. There's Ego.
There's we don't talk about Ego.
I think if they showed the origin of Nowhere, like the Celestials dying and then one of its heads just floating in space, Like that'd be cool. That'd be a cool.
That'd be
little
cool if it's subtle. I don't want it to like draw attention to it. Like, oh, that's fucking nowhere. Just do it and like don't say anything about it.
like just chop a celestial's head off and just be like and just pan away.
Yeah.
Thing.
So that's like we can connect the dots. Like we're not idiots.
Do you think like this will be the introduction of Galactus? Maybe
It could be. I didn't even think. Is Galactus a celestial?
I think so. I think he's he's the last one. Like he murdered all the other ones.
Shit, that would be really cool. After credit scene, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe I could see it totally being like a celestial war type thing, and then Galactus ends up being the last man standing type thing.
Have they started shooting this movie or?
Yeah, I think so because it comes out.
It comes out next year, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes out next year. It comes out November of next year. So they had to have either they're getting ready to start or they already started.
Because if they're getting ready to start, then they could probably shove in like a Galactus thing in there somewhere. But if they've already been shooting it, that'd be a little weird.
I mean, if it's in credit scene, they could just CGI that. I mean,
well, yeah, they could. But I'm talking like in the movie if they did anything.
Oh, like actually in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, that'd be fun.
I don't know how intertwined the Celestials will be in this. I don't know if it'll just be like showing them, like them being around or what. But we got a little glimpse in Guardians 1, and that was it. That's the only thing we've ever seen from the Celestial. We saw the one with the Power Stone mow down that planet.
It'd be cool if we got that scene in the movie.
That would be dope.
If we get to see that actually play out, like that could be kind of neat.
There was a leaked promo art of 2 Celestials on a planet, and it was pretty dope looking for the Eternals. So.
Shit, I did not see this.
Yeah, I saw it. It was very blurry because it was leaked. It wasn't released, but it looked pretty dope. One of them looked like the one from Guardians 1, but it was different color, so it makes me think it's not the same one, but it looked similar. But it was also a promo art thing. It wasn't footage or anything like that. So
I can't wait to see a trailer for this because I don't know what the hell this movie is.
We won't see a trailer for this until probably December. We won't see it until next year. If it comes out in November.
It comes out November of next year?
It comes out in November.
Holy fuck.
It comes out over a year from now.
Jesus.
We'll be getting a Black Widow trailer soon, though. Because that comes out in May. So that's coming out soon. I'm gonna
wait to see fucking Taskmaster.
I'm gonna bet we either see one in August or September for Black Widow.
We might get a teaser. I don't know if we'll get a full trailer.
Well, they have a teaser trailer already. They showed it at Comic-Con.
Well, they'll probably just put that out then.
But it hasn't been released to the public.
Yeah, they'll probably put that out like in the next month or two.
There is leaked footage of it. I haven't seen it because it looks like crap. It looked like it was filmed on a flip phone.
It probably was.
Probably was. That's probably how they got the footage because you're not supposed to take phones into there.
Yeah, which doesn't make any. I wish they would just release that shit. Like, who gives a fuck?
But like I've said this before. People paid to see premium shit.
Okay, but not everyone can afford that.
I mean, we'll see it eventually. And apparently,
cool.
Taskmaster, and everybody thought he looked amazing. So I'm ready to see that.
He looked dumb in the behind the scenes.
I mean, I'm sure they CGI'd some stuff on him and stuff. So
maybe
sure.
He looks like a Power Ranger.
We'll see. I got some Keanu Reeves news in the MCU.
Ooh, shit. I can put him in the thumbnail now.
Yeah. He is being rumored as being cast as Moon Knight in the MCU.
I mean, this isn't a new thing. He's been rumored as that for like a while.
It's being rumored by one of the directors in the MCU, so that makes it more official.
Which director?
It's one of the co-directors for the Eternals movie, I think.
Oh, that's strange. Keanu Reeves is too old to be Moon Knight.
Yeah,
Moon Knight's not like I don't think he's like 20, but if I was to think of Moon Knight's age, he'd probably be like 30 or like mid-30s or something.
In his freaking mask. You never really see him outside of his mask. So
yeah, but I mean, Keanu Reeves is gonna be like 70.
Do you think Keanu Reeves could pull the schizophrenic?
No, he's not a good actor.
That worries me if they do.
Everyone forgets that Keanu Reeves doesn't know how to act.
I mean, he's okay in John Wick because that's how I imagine John Wick would be.
You don't need to act in those movies. Those movies are about action.
But he does well in it, I think.
He does fine, but they don't really give him much to do in those movies other than, oh, you kill my dog, I'm going to fuck you up. Like, that's...
True, But I also feel like you, as that character, you don't really need to overreact to things that much. So it works.
But when you need to be a schizophrenic with multiple personalities, you have to act like you
I
need to
still
be James McAvoy. Fuck, get James McAvoy.
what I was gonna
I just
say.
thought of that right now.
I still think James McAvoy should be Moon Knight.
I thought Jake Gyllenhaal could have been a pretty good Moon Knight because he's really good at playing crazy people.
He's Mysterio now.
I know, and they fucked that up. So get James McAvoy to do it.
He's already Professor X, so people would be like, this is weird.
I don't give a shit. He also said he wanted to play the Riddler, so
just put James McAvoy in everything. He's such a good actor.
I'd be fine with that. It's like Oscar Isaac. I want Oscar Isaac to like be in a bunch of stuff, but he's like, no, I'm too busy not having anything to do in Star Wars.
He's got a big role in 9, apparently.
Apparently, they said that in the fucking last one, and he didn't do anything.
And then this is my last. It's about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show.
What is it?
It's a little bit of plot they released of what it's going to be about. It will reportedly revolve around the government not wanting Sam Wilson to be the next Captain America.
Why? Because he's black?
Didn't say why, but that's apparently.
That would actually be kind of interesting if that was part of it.
Racist.
Hey, I mean, racist exists.
They keep this is what's weird. They keep teasing that, oh, maybe Sam Wilson won't be Captain America. Maybe it'll be Bucky. I'm like, don't do that.
If they pull some bullshit like that, I'm gonna hate Endgame even more. Like Endgame's gonna go even lower on my list at that point because then it's just like another thing from Endgame that doesn't matter. I hope they just go like, what was the point of having a scene like that in the movie if you're not gonna capitalize on it?
I don't think they're going to. I think they're just playing this for the cameras. But if they do it, it's gonna bug the shit out of me.
It does. It doesn't make any sense in this universe for Bucky to be Captain America. Bucky's a fucking like wanted criminal.
Sebastian Stan also says he doesn't even want to be Captain America. So
yeah, I'm sure he's fine just being like, hey, I'm playing an emo guy with a gun. Like that's fine. I don't need to be fucking Captain America.
Right, I'm sure he trained for so long for Winter Soldier. He's like, I don't want to do that hand-to-hand fighting shit anymore. Like, I'm fine with shooting my gun in the background.
Yeah, he's happy that he's just in these movies still. I don't think he's not like, man, I'm upset that I'm not Captain America. I think he's just like, hey, I'm
excited to see a Sam Wilson Captain America. That's gonna be so fun.
That's gonna be dope.
So excited. And
I'm excited for this show.
I totally forgot about this in the comics. There is a comic where Jane Foster Thor has a relationship with Sam Wilson Captain America, which
really,
yeah, and they set both of those up at the same time, which is odd, but it also makes me think that this could happen.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I think Natalie Portman's coming back for one more movie, and then that's it. I don't think we're gonna see her ever again after Thor 4.
Lock her in for at least 2 or 3 movies, to be honest.
Maybe that'd be really surprising. I think she's just coming back for this one. I think
they were questioning whether Chris Hemsworth would come back. So like, okay, let's lock down Natalie Portman so we can use her as Thor if something happens where we can't use Chris Hemsworth. I totally think that's what they would do.
I don't know. I feel like Natalie Portman, because she didn't want to come back because she had like a big like fight with one of the directors on Thor 2. I feel like she would. I feel like her. I'm sure Marvel would want to sign her on for more movies, but I feel like she would probably like want to tread lightly and be like, all right, I'll do one more. And then if it works out well or it gets well reviewed, then maybe I'll come back for more. So maybe after Thor 4, maybe we'll see her again. I don't know. I don't think we will, but
I don't know how they'll end it with her though. Like if she does become Thor, is she gonna stay Thor, or are they gonna take that away from her at the end?
I don't know. How are they gonna bring Mjolnir back?
I don't know. They could use Stormbreaker, to be honest.
But Stormbreaker isn't like a worthiness thing.
But they could do it with Beta Ray Bills if they put Beta Ray Bills in there, because Beta Ray Bills is also a worthy one. I don't know how they would enchant it. Yeah, that's how they give him the powers, because he picks up Thor's hammer and Thor's like, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No one's been able to do this.
That's true. I mean, they set it up in Endgame like it looked like they were setting it up where he stole the hammer from like past Thor, but then they took it right back. So it's like, all right, how are they gonna reforge fucking Mjolnir?
I mean, maybe they could bring back what's his face and he could just remake it.
Odin?
No, the dwarf dude.
Oh, Peter Dinklage, the Dink.
Yeah. He's the one who made the first one. He could remake it.
I mean, maybe they'll do some stuff like that.
But you can't enchant it though because Odin's dead, and Odin does the enchantment. So I don't know how you do that.
I feel like Thor could just be like, "Hey, like whoever, blah 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 blah." I feel like he like because that's never established in the first Thor movie. He just kind of whispers into it, and then
It's because Odin's so powerful though.
Thor's powerful.
He's not as powerful as Odin.
I don't know. Get fucking. It'll probably be like Korg or something. Korg will fucking do it because everyone likes Korg.
Pick up Thor's hammer. A piece of Korg will fall off.
I wouldn't be surprised if that fucking happened.
I have two more MCU news. I totally forgot about this. D23 in August 24th may release more upcoming movies from Phase 4. So there's that to look forward to.
Okay.
And then I have some Deadpool news, MCU related. Deadpool could be a Phase 5 movie.
Holy shit.
From a tweet from Ryan Reynolds. Let me read it to you. Let me find it. I gotta go to my photos because I screenshotted it. Okay. This is from Ryan Reynolds himself. He posted this. Investigating heading into year 5, or as I call it, Phase 5. The point is, I love a conspiracy yarn. And then there's a picture of who leaked the test footage 5 years ago, and it's got a bunch of random characters from it, like Tony Stark and Betty White and James Gunn. It looks like
everyone calls it Phase 5. Ryan Reynolds, you're not special. As I like to call it, Phase 5. Everyone's calling it Phase 5.
So, I mean, I don't know if he's just teasing that the test footage was leaked 5 years ago, or if he's teasing that Deadpool could be a Phase 5. I don't know.
I mean, he's probably doing both because I know like a couple years ago he did the same thing with the test footage where he's like, "Hey, it's been like 2 years since the test footage was leaked. Like, I just want to thank whoever leaked it, even though we all know it's him."
I really don't think it was him.
I feel like it was.
I don't know.
Who the fuck else would, other than Ryan Reynolds, who had been trying to get this movie made for a decade?
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller wasn't even cast.
Exactly. He was like, I'm gonna be in this movie.
Maybe. But he's gone now.
I like the Betty White conspiracy. I think she did it.
I wish there was some kind of reference to Betty White in the Deadpool movies, but there's not.
She probably has rights on her name, to be honest.
Well, I mean, she was in one of the like TV spots for Deadpool. Like when the first Deadpool came out, she was in like a trailer for it or whatever, being like, "Hey, this movie's cool."
I don't remember that.
She was in, like, I think it was like some like small TV spot, but like just have a cameo of Betty White in the movie. Like that'd be fun.
Well, that's all the news I have. You ready to get into this review?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I want to know. I'm really curious. We're going to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
We're going to do spoilers as well, but we're going to have a non-spoiler part first, then we'll let you know when we get into the spoilers. I'm really curious on your thoughts about this, Devin.
You want my honest truth opinion about this movie is I hated this movie, to be honest. I thought it was complete garbage. I literally told Caitlin as I was leaving the theater, I'm never watching that again. It was
okay. I wouldn't go that far, but I didn't really like this movie either
at all. It was so slow and boring. Oh my god, it felt like the longest movie I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty fucking long.
I went into it at like 6 o'clock. I think I went to the 6 o'clock showing, and I came out and I'm like, it's gonna be like 11:30 when I leave this theater. And I got it was 9 o'clock, and I'm like, what the hell? Shit. I was like, what the hell? It was like this. That felt like the longest movie I've ever seen.
I think it's like 2 hours and like 50 minutes. So it's pretty long.
It was super long. Leonardo DiCaprio. I loved Leonardo DiCaprio in this. He's really good.
He's great. He's definitely gotten better acting wise over the last few years.
And I really like Brad Pitt. He was my favorite.
Oh my god, Brad Pitt stole the fucking show. He was amazing.
He was my favorite character in the whole thing. Margot Robbie was stupid. Didn't even be in the movie.
Yeah, she was pointless.
I'll get in that in spoilers, I guess. I don't know what is a spoiler in this movie, but overall, though, I did not like it. It felt like it was just going nowhere the entire time, and I was just like,
there's one issue. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, what is this movie going to actually be about? And I'm still questioning what was the movie about. I still don't understand what it was about. Was it about Leonardo DiCaprio?
It kind of the movie is kind of about, there's kind of three different stories going on at once, sort of. Are you familiar with the Manson murders in real life?
No, I don't think so. Well,
I feel like that's partly why, because this movie does focus a little bit on the Manson murders, but like not really, but kind of, because Charles Manson shows up for like a scene. But I feel like you need prior knowledge of that before going into this movie, because there were people behind me that, like, when the credits rolled and it was like Manson family played by whatever, they're like, oh, that was the Manson family. So I'm like, they didn't even know going in. So I'm like, I think that's a problem that they didn't know that while watching the movie.
What do you know that I don't know that made it better?
Well, I mean, just because like the whole, like, Margot Robbie played Sharon Tate, who was infamously murdered by Charles Manson and the Manson family. And I thought the movie was kind of gonna be about that in some kind of way. And Margot Robbie played Sharon Tate, and I thought they were gonna like do something with that, but they didn't. And then the whole Manson part of it, I was like, you didn't have to actually make this Charles Manson and the Manson family, because you could have just made this some other like hippie cult bullshit, you know?
So
but I feel like if
who did he play? He played himself?
who?
Charles Manson.
No, Charles Manson's in jail.
Okay, that's what I thought. Who was playing him?
It was, I don't know the actor's name, but he had one scene. Remember, he shows up at Margot Robbie's house and he's talking to her friend or whatever.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And she's like listening to music or whatever. Then her like fiance goes outside and talks to that guy. That was Charles Manson.
Oh,
they never say his name, so you wouldn't know that. The only reason I knew that was because before the movie came out, I saw the cast list and I was like, oh, that actor's playing Charles Manson. Okay, but I wouldn't have known that either if I hadn't done that.
I still think the movie sucks, but it makes a little bit more sense now.
Yeah.
I still don't understand what the movie was really about, though.
It's sort of kind of trying to be about the Manson family while also trying to sort of
nothing about it.
That's like a small part of it, but it's also kind of about Rick Dalton being, he feels like he's not the big star anymore, but then towards the, you know, it's sort of about that.
That's what I got from it, but I'm like, that story just goes nowhere. Really.
It kind of goes nowhere, and it kind of gets resolved like halfway through the movie.
Exactly. I mean, Brad Pitt was his story arc was the most interesting, I thought, of the movie.
Yeah.
And I really like Brad Pitt in this movie.
He was so good.
He was. And he was the only reason I stayed. I was tempted to actually leave.
Wow, really?
I'm glad I stayed. I liked the end. The end was funny.
The end was the best part because the end felt the most Tarantino.
It did.
That's the thing though. The rest of the movie needed that energy and needed that kind of.
That's what I expected the whole movie to be, was something like that, but it wasn't. Yeah. It was very slow. It was so slow paced. That's what killed me with this movie. If it was a faster paced movie, it would have been better.
It's like, hey, you want to watch Brad Pitt drive a car for like 5 minutes straight? Here you go.
God, there are so many long shots on nothing.
But I mean, what's so weird though is that Tarantino has done that before, like with Inglourious Bastards. Inglourious Bastards has like one really like amazing scene where it's just like Michael Fassbender. He's like in disguise. Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
No.
Michael Fassbender, like he goes undercover as like a Nazi, and he goes to like one of their bars, and it's the longest scene. It's like a 20 to 30 minute scene of just talking back and forth, but it's so tense and it's so. Like, you know, the outcome kind of going in, you know what's going to happen, but it's just the buildup and the writing in that scene is really well done, and it's really good. And I feel like that movie really, or this movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, really needed something like that. Because I feel like all the writing was kind of like basic. It didn't really feel like Tarantino a lot of times. It kind of, it felt like anybody could have wrote this, really.
Yeah, I mean, there was no conversations where I was like, this is really interesting.
There was a couple for me, but other than those, I mean,
there was a few, but just a lot of it just felt like it was rehashing stuff previously said in the movie. Like it kept coming back to how Rick Dalton was. I know they were trying to be like, oh, he's done with his acting career or whatever, but like they said it for like 40 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, they did.
I'm like, I understand. He doesn't think he's a good actor anymore. Whatever. He thinks he's washed up. And I'm like, ugh.
And I mean, that could have been the plot in and of itself. It could have just been that. But then they had to throw in all the stuff with the Manson family that ultimately kind of went nowhere. Then they had to throw in the Sharon Tate stuff, and then they had to throw in the Brad Pitt stuff that kind of didn't really. There's some stuff that they do with Brad Pitt and his character arc that didn't really like go anywhere, that they just kind of dropped. And I was like, all right. I feel like if it was just focused on one thing, it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I was not a fan. I'm probably not going to watch this movie ever again, and I probably would not recommend it to anyone. I was expecting good things coming out of Quentin Tarantino because I really like Django Unchained and what was another one I've seen? I can't remember.
See Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill. I like Kill Bill.
Yeah, I love Tarantino. He's one of my favorite directors, and I was really disappointed coming out of this movie. I didn't hate it. There's definitely some like really good scenes in this, but I have no interest in watching this ever again.
I'm not going to. It was too long. If it was 2 hours, maybe I'd watch it again. But it was too long and too slow paced for me.
Yeah, he could have easily cut like an hour out of this movie.
He would have just cut out all those long shots. It would have probably been a 2 hour movie.
Probably. There's a lot of long shots.
And, like, I understand what they were doing, but there was entire scenes of other movies that were being filmed for that, if that makes sense. Leonardo DiCaprio.
The movies within the movie, yeah.
The entire scenes of some of them. I understand what they were going for, but those were just long.
That was really distracting. Like at one point, Rick Dalton, Leo's character, he gets hired to act in a cowboy movie, and they show like there's like a 20-minute scene of just playing out the scene, and it's like I get it, but like shorten this up a little bit, Tarantino, because it kind of breaks the flow of it. Because then it just becomes a Western for 20 minutes, and it's like, all right.
They focus on that, and then I'm trying to wait to go into spoilers for some of this. I don't know what's a spoiler in this movie and what isn't. So
you want to just go ahead and go into spoilers?
If you want. I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about that's not spoiler related.
Spoiler mode. We're going into spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, or if you don't want to know anything about it, or if you don't care, stick around. Who knows? But we're talking about spoilers now.
I thought that whenever they did the little skits, none of them really were funny or made much. I mean, they made sense to what they were saying. But
what do you mean? What do you mean skits?
Like where they would cut out of the real world, and they just go into doing like a scene from a movie Rick Dalton did.
Oh yeah.
There were some parts where I was just like, why did it cut back to show this? Like I didn't need to see this. I understand.
Yeah, like when they showed Leo in The Great Escape or whatever.
Yeah, like
that was fun. I enjoyed that, but it didn't really like.
I could tell they were trying to be funny, but they weren't really that funny, and I was just like, this didn't hit well for me. So.
And there was one moment where Margot Robbie goes to the movie theater to see a movie that Sharon Tate was in, but they use the actual footage of Sharon Tate and not Margot Robbie, and that was very distracting.
Because I thought for a second, I was like, is she not Sharon Tate?
Yeah, I thought that for a second too. I was like, is she pretending? Like, what is like? Is this where the plot kicks in? I was like, this is kind of interesting, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, I was like, that's clearly not her on the screen.
Yeah.
Also, that played out for like, it felt like half an hour of them just cutting back to her watching that movie. I'm like, why do we keep coming back to this? And then it never went anywhere. She just left the theater. I'm like, what? Why do we need that in the movie?
And I know Tarantino's talked about this movie as like he wanted it to be like a love letter to 60s Hollywood or whatever. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, that's great. But that doesn't like
there's so much
that doesn't work as a movie.
So much stupid shit that doesn't need to be in this movie that goes nowhere. Margot Robbie does not need her entire role in this movie does nothing.
She doesn't do anything. And I was
with Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt through that until the very end.
Yeah.
And even then, you could have just set up, she's my neighbor, and then never cut back to her until the end. That's all. That was it.
And it kind of furthers my theory that Margot Robbie is only hired and stuff because she's good looking. Because she and Tarantino clearly sees that as well because he didn't give her anything to do.
Like I thought eventually they were going to cross paths with Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt or something, but they never do. Brad Pitt and her never even share a scene together, and they're the three main actors on this movie.
Yeah.
And Leonardo only shares 2 minutes at the very end?
At the very end, yeah. And that actually, the very end was when I thought Charles Manson was going to come back, because remember when he's at the gate and the gate opens like really slow and it plays that like kind of creepy music.
Yeah,
I thought some shit was going to happen, but then it just ended.
I was confused by that, probably because I didn't know that going in. But I was like, why is this music playing? I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I thought something was going to happen. I thought he was going to go up there, and because she said on the like this voice box or whatever, she's like, "Hey, how about you come up and meet some of my friends?" I thought that was going to be like, "Oh, Charles Manson is there, or some of the Manson family members are there, and they're going to kill Rick Dalton." That would have been a little bit better. That would have at least tied back to earlier stuff they set up. But no, it just ended, and I was like, "Okay."
I don't know.
Well, and also, like the go ahead.
I was gonna say this has nothing to do with anything, but like, does Quentin Tarantino have like a foot fetish? Because there was a lot of
He does. That's a known thing. He does.
I was just making sure. I didn't know if that was him or if it was somebody else.
No, if you watch a lot of his movies, he puts a lot of that stuff in every single one of his movies he makes.
Very obvious in this movie.
It's very.
I was like, why is this like in half of the shot?
Quentin Tarantino's a weirdo.
Move the camera.
Yeah.
Put it somewhere else.
And like I said, Brad Pitt definitely stole the show. I think that scene where he goes to that hippie like commune thing, that scene was great.
That was the best scene. I was super into it in that scene.
But nothing happens in that whole fucking scene.
I was like, what are they doing with George?
Yeah, they keep setting up like, oh, he's gonna go in this thing and they're gonna fucking murder him or something, and then nothing happens. But I thought like at the end when the Manson family comes back to their like neighborhood, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, they're getting revenge on him for going there and fucking up one of their family members. But no, that was completely random. They just happened to be there.
Yeah, because I thought when I saw them, I was like, oh, they're there for Brad Pitt, but then I realized they drove right past him.
Yeah, they were there. They were there for Sharon Tate, and then Leo yelled at him, and they're like, "Let's go fuck up Leo's house now," and he just happened to be there. I was like, "That's kind of lame and lazy."
I don't know. The end was the best part, where Brad Pitt just fucks up those.
The end was so good.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio lights one of them on a fire.
Oh, that was a good callback. I'm glad that happened.
That it was funny and it was energetic, and I liked that scene. And I'm glad I stayed to see that scene because I was very tempted to just leave.
It's that scene works because it's classic Tarantino. It's ultra violent.
I wanted out of this movie.
Yeah, it's hyper realistic, where I feel like the rest of the movie was kind of just like, hey, watch people do stuff. And I'm like, I needed a little bit more of the over exaggeratedness that his movies usually are.
Yeah. I also just remembered, why the fuck was Al Pacino in this movie for like 5 minutes?
Because he's Al Pacino.
He was barely in it. He's in it for like 2 scenes.
He's Al Pacino. I mean, why was Kurt Russell in this movie? He was in one scene.
Oh, I forgot about the scene where he fights.
That was a good scene. I enjoyed that scene.
Was that real? Was that really happening?
I wondered that as well, because in that scene they introduced that Brad Pitt killed his wife, but then that never comes up ever again, to the point where I thought that was just like he was just making that whole thing up.
Yeah, and it starts out with him on the roof. He takes his shirt off, and then
which, by the way, he's looking jacked for a 55-year-old. Like, Jesus Christ.
And then it cuts to doing that scene, and it cuts back to him back on the roof. I'm like, was he imagining that, or did that happen?
I don't know what the hell happened.
Because I remember he dropped off Leonardo DiCaprio and then left. He didn't stay, so I'm so confused on what happened. I don't know if that was real or not.
Yeah, that was very kind of poorly explained.
That confused that, and the Margot Robbie thing and her not being in the movie she was in. That confused me. Those two things really confused me. I was very.
It's this whole movie is kind of confusing because it's sort of like it's mixing real life with fiction, because Rick Dalton isn't a real person and Cliff Booth isn't a real person, but then you have Sharon Tate and like Roman Polanski and all these other people that are real people that do exist. And it's kind of weird when you're trying to make a movie about a fictional character but then have real characters that actually exist, but it's also like kind of about them. Like, that's strange. I don't think it worked very well.
I didn't even know going into this was kind of based on a real story. I didn't know that at all going into this. So
I think a lot of people don't, because I don't think it was marketed that way.
It really wasn't. Like,
I didn't see any of the trailers, so I don't know, but I don't think it was.
I saw the first trailer and it didn't really show much. It was just kind of just showing the actors, to be honest. That was about it. And I kind of, from the trailers, I didn't really know what the premise of the movie was. And I was like, okay, I'll just figure it out as I watch because I like Leonardo DiCaprio and I like Quentin Tarantino. So might as well just go see it. And I was still confused when I left the theater what the fuck the movie was about. So
it's pretty much just like, oh, it's a day in the life of these wacky like Hollywood people. That's kind of all it is.
Have an almost 3-hour movie, but not explain enough. How does that happen?
I don't know.
I should not be confused ever if it's a 3-hour movie.
You shouldn't be confused in any movie. You should know exactly what's going on in every film.
No, like a mystery or something, I can be confused during that. But this wasn't a mystery. This was, I don't know. The editing just seemed weird.
There were some weird editing choices in here.
And like I said, I don't like those random skits that were unneeded. They didn't.
I think he just put those in there to kind of build out the world a little bit.
Yeah, but like they say something and then they just cut to a skit of doing whatever he just said, and I'm just like, I got that.
That's true.
Said you didn't need to show me it, but whatever. I guess if it works, it works for you. It's just padding the runtime though of an already really long movie.
Yeah, I think this movie, like it really lacked in style because Quentin Tarantino has a very distinct style, and I think this movie definitely.
Did he even actually direct it, or did they just put his name on it?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't feel like a movie made by him at all, really.
The writing didn't, and the directing didn't.
No, the writing was very like bad sometimes. There were some scenes where I was like, Tarantino wrote this? Like, seriously?
I was very surprised by all of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was strange.
He's losing his touch. I don't know.
I mean, maybe he is. You know, he's been doing this for like 20 years. Maybe. And not all of his movies can be perfect.
I guess. I wasn't expecting this to be perfect, but I thought this movie was really bad. Really bad. It wasn't even mediocre bad. It was bad.
I probably would have preferred if this movie was bad because I came out of it liking a lot of it, but was still feeling really disappointed at the stuff in the movie that I didn't like. And I would have preferred if I just came out and was like, the whole thing was bad and I hated it. But I don't, because there are some really good scenes in it and there are some good moments that I will definitely, look up on YouTube like a year from now and just watch those specific scenes.
I like the end, and I like the scene where Brad Pitt's in the random hippie village. That's it. I
like the scene where Leo's talking to that little girl because that's actually relevant to his character and his character arc.
Yeah, that was fine. I don't know if it was worthy enough for me to go rewatch the movie, but it was fine.
Yeah.
But like, there's just too much unnecessary shit that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And that's what's killing the vibe for me, is that you could have just cut out a lot of this. But I feel like if you would have cut out all this unnecessary stuff, it wouldn't be that long of a movie. It would have been like an hour.
Yeah, I forget who it was. I was watching somebody. I think they were talking about this movie. I watched a video like today. They were like, this is the first time I've ever wanted like an undirector's cut. Where like I want a shorter version of this fucking movie.
That's what I want.
Like, yeah.
That's what I want.
Cut an hour and a half out of this.
I want to know how much they actually cut if this was the final product.
It was probably like 3 hours originally.
So they cut 15 minutes off? Oh my god.
Probably, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, it's the worst movie I think I've seen this year. No, it's the lie. Men in Black was terrible. It's not a good movie that I've seen this year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you
can like a big disappointment.
I understand you liking it because it is kind of an artsy fartsy type of movie.
Yeah, and I usually like movies that are about like the film industry. Like I loved The Disaster Artist. I wouldn't say that's necessarily like a great film, but I love movies that have to do with making movies because I like making movies and I like watching movies. This movie was kind of that, but at the same time, you need some kind of story, and there wasn't really much of a story here.
There was almost two different stories they were trying to do. They were trying to do the Rick Dalton story and they were trying to do the Manson story, I guess. But they just didn't really mesh together well.
And they didn't really do much of the Manson stuff.
And no, they were kind of just building it up, and then it didn't happen, like you said. And I see that now that you've mentioned it, because I didn't even know that was in there. Now I understand some of the build up and the mini twist, I guess. It wasn't even really a twist. But
yeah, it's just kind of in there. It's like to the point where it's like it didn't need to be the Mansons. It could have just been, you could have just made up a hippie commune thing. Like, why did it have to be the Manson family?
Real people at all. You could have just made this an entirely made up story.
Yeah.
And then you could have said like, oh, this was callbacks to this thing that happened in real life, but it wasn't that because it's not actually those people.
Yeah, it's a reference.
Yeah, it's a reference to it, but he didn't. He used the real people. That were in
it was really weird. It was a weird movie.
It was. I don't know. I still feel weird about it. I'm feeling the same way I felt after Swiss Army Man, where I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this.
It's like, what the fuck is this movie?
Exactly. It's like, because when I watched it yesterday, and I'm still confused on just what it was truly about. Like, what did Quentin Tarantino going in? What did he want this movie to be about?
He's said multiple times in interviews he wanted it to just be a love letter to Hollywood in the '60s, like him growing up.
A point where he wanted to go to in it.
According to him, no. Apparently, he wanted it to just be like a day in the life of actors and stuff in the '60s, just being actors and stuff. That was his ultimate goal. It's not like he had a story, then he just failed at telling it. This was what he wanted to do.
I think that's a good premise, but I still think you need a story.
Yeah, I think all movies need stories.
And it wasn't a day. It cuts 6 months later.
Well, you know what I mean. Like it's a small chunk of these people's lives.
Also, they never show. I mean, they did kind of, but like Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio like break up at the end of the movie. What happens with that? Like, I rather would have seen what happens there.
Yeah, that really goes nowhere.
Do they actually break up, or now that Brad Pitt saved his life, are they buddies again?
Who knows?
I have no idea. I don't know. What happened to the dog? Where the fuck's the dog?
I don't remember.
Bit that dude's nuts off. What happened?
Well, that dude's dead.
I know that dude's dead, but what did the dog do?
That dude, by the way, is the guy who's playing Elvis in the new Elvis biopic.
Oh, Tex.
Yeah.
He's in something else. I feel like I've seen him in something else.
He's been in some smaller stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him. I don't know. I was not impressed by this movie at all. If you can tell, I was not impressed.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing for me.
I mean, you said you probably wouldn't rewatch it again. Are you like 100% on that, or you may come back like years from now and rewatch it?
I have zero purpose to rewatch this.
Really?
I'll get it on Blu-ray just to complete my Tarantino collection because I have all of his other films on Blu-ray and DVD. But I don't feel any need to watch this. There's no story to it. I'll watch specific scenes, but I'm not gonna watch this movie from start to finish ever again.
Really? That's kind of surprising because you really like to rewatch even bad movies. So
I do, but even bad movies are entertaining and they have stories. This was long and boring and didn't really have much of a story.
I think if you would have cut, I think what would have made this better, you could have kept the story. If you could have kept it in the same premise, I think if you would have cut a little bit of out and make it a little bit more fast paced, it would have been better. It would have been a lot better, I feel like.
Yeah.
The pacing and the random shit that didn't need to be in there just killed me.
Why not just make a movie about an actor who feels out of place in this new age of Hollywood who happens to get wrapped up in this weird cult hippie thing and has to fight off hippies and shit like that? That sounds like a Tarantino premise. That sounds like something Tarantino would do. This weird, wacky, kind of realistic, but not really thing where there's all this blood and violence. But it didn't really do that.
Just make the end and stretch it out over a 2-hour movie.
Or do that, yeah.
Like, that would have been amazing. And I'm so glad that he did the end the way he did. I really thought they were just going to kill Brad Pitt's character and just be done with it. Like, I thought that's what they were going to do.
It looked like that for a second.
Because, like, they had him surrounded and he was high or whatever. I was like, oh, he's not going to be able to defend himself. He's on drugs. And then they weren't going to find Leonardo DiCaprio because he's out in the pool. And I thought they were going to just kill him, leave, and Leonardo was going to be all depressed and shit because his best friend's dead. I thought that's what they were going to do. But they didn't. He kicked the shit out of those hippies.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was kind of unexpected. So I give him props for that, I guess. But that's the only thing I'll ever rewatch. I'll go to YouTube and just rewatch the end. That's about it.
Yeah.
Overall, I give it a solid D.
A solid D.
Yeah. Brad Pitt didn't make it an F. There you go.
Yeah, Brad Pitt was the best part of the film.
Brad Pitt didn't make it an F out of 10. That's how I.
Yeah.
Anything else you like to say on it though?
No, I mean it was a big disappointment for me, but I wouldn't say it's a bad film by any means. It was well made and it was well acted. It just was missing some stuff.
I don't think anybody acted bad. I don't even think Margot Robbie acted bad. I think they all acted really.
No,
good.
she was great for like the 4 things she said in the whole movie.
Yeah, I thought everybody was amazing. It's just they just didn't have much to do.
Yeah,
that was their issue. But I don't think we'll have time to do a ranking today.
Yeah, probably not. I think we've been recording for like 2 hours.
Yeah, we've been, and it takes us probably like another 2 hours to get through.
Holy shit! Yeah, so we'll probably do that next time.
Yeah, unless we have a shit ton of news. Because next time, when does the next movie is Fast and Furious? So when does that come out? August 13th.
That's August 2nd.
Oh, that comes out this weekend then. So we may.
Shit, really?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. Are we seeing that together?
If you want to, we can.
I think I'll be home this weekend, so we can maybe see it. I'm excited. Black Superman.
I'm Black Superman.
I'm excited for some good, stupid action after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Excited for a fast-paced, energetic movie.
Yes. I don't care if it's only an hour and a half, as long as it's fast-paced. I really can't stand slow movies. I'm not a big fan of them.
I like slow movies if there's like a purpose to it. Like Taxi Driver is kind of slow, but there's a purpose to it. And there's a reason why it's slow.
You can have a slow movie, but make your conversations worth listening to.
Yeah. It has to have a reason why it's slow. You can't just make a slow movie and just not deliver on anything.
Well, I mean, I was surprised because I looked at the reviews for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's got like an 85 or 86 on Rotten Tomatoes, so apparently people like this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of giving this movie a pass because it's Tarantino, because I have a feeling if this was made by anybody else, people would be shitting on this.
The audience score isn't as high. It's a 75, so the audience isn't liking it as much. Which makes sense. I can see critics seeing how deep and emotional.
Oh, it's deep and emotional, but fuck you.
And then most critics are a bunch of old farts anyway, so they're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, The Great Escape, that movie I watched when I was 6.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
I don't know. Do you think if this movie would have come out in the 90s, it would have been better? Closer to when it was set?
Well, I mean, it was set in the 60s.
Set in the 70s.
70s, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if
that was almost 50 years ago.
If it was Tarantino in the back in the 90s when he was just like a weird filmmaker who just did weird shit, I feel like this movie would have been a little better. I feel like that he was kind of tame on this one.
He's getting old. That's what it is.
He is getting old.
What is
and he also peaked really hard with Django. Django's like his best movie.
I am so glad I saw Django, and I want to rewatch it now. It's so
Django's
good.
So great.
I love that movie. What did you say his 10th film was? It Star Trek? Is that what we talked about last time?
He said if he is doing a Star Trek movie, that's his 10th and final movie.
Not confirmed it is, but
it's not 100% confirmed because I think whoever owns the rights, Universal or whoever, is still kind of like, we don't know if we want an R-rated Star Trek film. I hope he doesn't do that because that sounds really dumb.
I wonder what he would do as his 10th film.
I want to see that Django Zorro movie.
I don't know what he'd do though.
Make that, or just do another Western because his Westerns are really good.
I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's a fake Western.
It's a Western within a movie that's really boring.
It's a movie within a movie.
Sort of.
We've got entire scenes from a movie that's not real in another movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not good. I don't think it's a good scene.
No, it's not at all.
Well, what's your fun fact of the day before we get out of here?
Fun fact of the day. If you punch a squirrel in the face, it's going to attack you and it's going to hurt like a motherfucker.
I thought you were going to say something about if you slap a moose in Canada, you'll get arrested or something.
I mean, that is a real thing. That is a fun fact.
Because that's like their bald eagle over there. You know, it's like their national animal.
And they ride mooses everywhere, so you can't be slapping them.
Shit, it's like slapping a horse. I wouldn't want to slap a horse.
No, you slap a horse, you're going to be eating your fucking food through a straw. Things going to kick the shit out of you.
Kick you right in the neck.
Yeah.
Decapitate you.
Oh,
that's a good way. That's a good way to end it. Just decapitation. You know.
Decapitation. Well, I have to do the outro.
Oh yeah, that's right. What's our astro?
This has been the 7th episode of the Real Duo Podcast, aka the Keanu Cast, aka the most mediocre podcast on the internet, aka the only mediocre podcast on the internet, aka the Real Foodie Podcast, aka I need a new AKA.
You're gonna add one to every episode.
I'm gonna keep this going.
So if we go to like
Every
100
episode.
episodes, you're gonna have 100 AKAs.
Yeah, and I'm gonna read it every single fucking time.
So our ending's gonna be like 30 minutes. You're gonna have to write it down.
I have it written down already.
Oh, do you? You see, you remember?
I need another AKA.
But you better think of it real quick.
AKA the horse kicking podcast.
The horse kicking, the decapitation.
The decapitation show.
Shit. So we're decapitating people now. That's not a good look. I mean,
we're not decapitating people. I didn't say that.
We're not kid friendly either, but
we just talk about decapitation.
And before we leave, I just want to say follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. What was it?
Duo _ podcast.
At duo _ podcast. We'll probably only put out episodes on there and probably tweet about dumb stuff on there. But follow us.
I'll give Wade the password to it so he can actually post on Twitter.
I'm gonna post so many like dumb gifs and shit on there.
Like, oh, Batman, Adam West Batman.
Look at fucking Ben Affleck.
Look at him, he's chubby. Look at him.
Look at him.
All right, I think that's it for this week.